Tonight, the MGM Vikings return to their home, E.S. Gotw Memorial Stadium, bruised, battered, and trying to end a 3-game losing streak. Their opponent, the Blount Leopards. They're licking their wounds after a huge region loss last week and trying to rebound in only their 3rd game of the season. Can the Leopards get back on track, or will home field advantage help the Vikings get a well-needed win? We'll find out next with the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Al Wheaton, along with Corey LeBounty. Down on the sidelines, we have Mike Herndon. Corey, 2 teams tonight looking for a well-deserved win.
Yeah, Blount trying to bounce back like you mentioned in your intro, and it'll be a great opportunity to see how they respond to adversity. They haven't played a lot of games this season, and because of it, they'll have an opportunity now in game number 3 to again bounce back from a loss that was actually attributed to on the field play. Now, if you're in MGM Vikings, you want to go ahead and try to find a way to go ahead and get that first win that you had in week 0, get that feeling and get that support and juice back going on the sidelines.
All right, Corey, speaking of the juice, let's get some of your juice with Corey's checklist. What exactly do both of these teams need to do tonight to get a win?
Well, when you look at MGM, they must sustain drives, Al, and if they don't sustain drives, then it'll be easy for Blount to go ahead and score. They also have to limit the Leopards' explosive plays. And what do I consider an explosive play? Anything over 15 yards or more, the Vikings have to try to eliminate. And they must have a turnover turnaround. They don't want to turn the football over tonight, and they must make sure they take care of that pigskin and secure it. You're looking on the other side for the Blount Leopards. They must put a pause on penalties. Last week alone, they had over 17 penalties in the 3rd quarter of play. So there's a lot of room for improvement from that standpoint. They must improve on special teams. If they're able to put 6 points on the board, they must kick the extra point successfully and have some great punts and flip the field also. And they need to have that strong start. If you're Lev Hawley, you want to endure your team's will on this Vikings team early and try to jump out to a lead very early in the 1st quarter.
All right, there's the checklist from Corey LeBounty. Matter of fact, we need to take it down to the field and check in with Mike Herndon, get an idea of what game field conditions are like here at E.S. Gotw Memorial Stadium. What's going on, Mike?
Well, as hot as it was today, a typically hot September day in Alabama, I was expecting a hot night, but once the sun dipped down under those trees over there, it's very pleasant now, very mild. And I tell you, whoever the groundskeeper is here at Gotw Field, which is usually the coaches, has done an amazing job. This field looks beautiful, ready for a great night of football.
Thank you so much, Mike. We appreciate that. We're going to talk about that field on the other side of this break right here. We're going to come back with the kickoff, the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. It's Blount and MGM headed your way up next.
Give me a spot. You know my motto, safety first.
They could be dangerous. I think we should call animal control.
Animal control?
To be safe.
Don't worry. I got this. It's a new motto.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection.
You are watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Al Wheaton, Corey LeBounty. On the sidelines, we have Mike Herndon, and we are moments away from the kickoff. And Corey, Mike just talked about the turf. You and I talked about it before the ball game. It looks absolutely beautiful here atop the press box.
Considering we've gone through 5 weeks of high school football and MGM's had at least 3 home games, and considering Hurricane Sally came and dumped torrential rainfall here on the Gulf Coast area, this is one of the most green grasses that you'll ever see. I know we broadcast in high definition, but I tell you what, here for your own eyesight, for the grass to be this green and for there not to be patches or mud on the field, this field looks tremendous.
It really does. I gave compliments to Coach Stan McCain. Matter of fact, Corey, he teaches turf management at Mary G. Montgomery, as a matter of fact. So we'll talk about that later on. But he said this is their 3rd home game. I said, Coach, this This field is looking absolutely immaculate. Blount has 4 receivers back to receive this kick from Chris Brewer. Taking that ball for the Blount Leopards, going up the middle.
Richard Kaiser.
Richard Kaiser doing his thing, Corey. Don't have him on my kick return list, but Blount has a lot of offensive weapons, and we'll be talking about them in a matter of moments as they come into this ball game, looking to get back on track after that crushing defeat from Saraland last week. The game was actually scheduled a week ago on Friday, but they moved it up to Thursday. Then Hurricane Sally came, and it went to Saturday.
And here it is right here. Blount comes out. They want to try to score maybe on the second or third play of the game to go ahead and establish their wheels. They don't want a sustained drive. They want to be explosive right here from the first quarter of action.
LaMarcus Brown, quarterback for the Leopards. He has a great arm, and he is lethal on his feet as well. Can get that one connected to Jerry Brand. And the Blount Leopards are already past the midfield stripe on their first play of the ball game.
And that's a great design play by offensive coordinator Melvin Jones. And you look at this Blount team returning 7 starters offensively. That's a lot of weapons to choose from. And when I start looking at their offensive line, I love their right tackler, Connor Howard, Peyton Daly, the right guard, Kelvin Eaton, the center, Mario Hardy, the left guard, and Bruce Crenshaw, all big beef for the Blount Leopards up front.
Second down at about 4. They hand that one off to Deshaun Williams as he is fighting up for the first down. They're going to mark him down at about the 45-yard line of MGM. It'll be 3rd and short for the Leopards.
Deshaun Williams, the 5'10", 175-pound freshman running back for the Blount Leopards, gets the start tonight. And because of it, you're wondering, well, you said Deshaun Williams, not
right.
Jarius Williams.
Not Jarius Williams. That's
There's
correct.
a reason. They are blood, but the numbers are not confusing. One wears 3, one wears 4. One's a freshman, one's a senior, but both of them run extremely fast and extremely hard.
3rd and 2 here. They're going to go back to Williams. He's got room, and he's up the middle for a big gain as he gets into the 30-yard line. So there's another look at Williams. See if we can get a look at the Blount offense as they pick up their first down, get the starting lineup for you. Leopards are led by dual-threat senior quarterback LaMarcus Brown. He's thrown for nearly 500 yards in 2 games with 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Also, he runs well outside of the pocket. Now, when he throws, look for Cam Graves, Melvin Williams, or Amani Diamond. Both Williams and Diamond have 2 touchdowns this year. And as we just talked about it, Jarius Williams not getting the start. His younger brother, Deshaun, getting the start, just picked up that first down. And a young man you just mentioned on the offensive line, Connor Howard at right tackle, does really great for the Leopards as Williams carries it again. That Leopards line, Corey, averages 280 pounds. They are some big boys. And
exactly that, Al, but going back to 3rd down, that's your money down. You want to get off the field if you're this MGM defense. And, you know, when you start looking at second and short opportunities for this Blount Leopard team, when you have a massive offensive line, it makes it so much easier to pick your poison. And that's exactly now offensive coordinator Melvin Jones. He can choose from any play he wants in his playbook in this situation.
2nd and about 5 here for the Leopards. They are on the move. Brown escapes the pocket and just throws that one away. Very smart move for the senior quarterback as he gets rid of it. It'll be 3rd and about 5. Take a look at the MGM defense. They play out of a 3-4 with linebacker Sean Maxwell and Logan Tillman. They'll be clogging up the middle. Out on the edge, defensive back Dante Rogers. He's going to patrol for passes, and you can't miss this guy, Corey. He's 6'4", safety Ashton Hollins. He's going to be all over the field along with Kyle Gould. Back deep in the secondary. Up front, the D-line anchored by senior nose guard Eugene Roberts. And that defensive line averages 282 pounds, just 2 pounds over the Blount line. So the big uglies up front going to be getting at it tonight, buddy.
And MGM doing a great job of pressuring LaMarcus Brown in that situation, doing a good job of making sure he does not break containment. And Sean Maxwell in the last play, he's the 6'1", 210-pound senior linebacker that you just mentioned atop this defensive line. Does a great job coming in and forcing Blount into a 3rd down situation. This is the second 3rd down opportunity on this opening drive.
Actually, it's 4th down, Corey.
4th down for the Blount Leopards.
Down.
So now you're in a situation to where if you're MGM, you want to make sure that you hold right here, but they bring in that big package with Lee Hunter in the backfield to go ahead and bowl over to that left side. That's the side they normally try to go to.
As they hand it off to Williams, he goes up the middle. And even with his forward progress, he is going to come up short. So it looks like it's going to be ball over on down. So the MGM defense holds after Blount comes out. So as they get ready to come on the field, see if we can get the MGM offense up to let you know about them. Great stand for the Vikings.
I agree with you. I mean, you milked 3 minutes off the clock if you're the Blount Leopards, but you come away with no points. And they try to get out to that strong start, but MGM does a good job of making sure after a couple of explosive plays that they hold it down.
We'll try to get it up after this play right here. Quarterback, junior quarterback, Isaac Bozeman. He'll be leading the charge on offense for MGM, and he is a lefty. Right there at the bottom of your screen, 6'4" Ashton Hollins. He'll be playing offense and defense tonight. More about that coming up as the Vikings look to the sideline. Their offense coordinator is the head coach, Stan McCain. And Corey, Coach McCain is actually coaching from the booth tonight, not feeling the best. So MGM takes a timeout. Let's take a look at the offense right quick, Corey. Just talked about 6'1" quarterback, Isaac Bozeman. You just saw him walking off the field right there. They run what's called a flex bone offense, and it'll be run heavy with senior running backs Edrin Houston and Dominic Ezel getting the majority of the carries. Now Bozeman, he's got a good arm when he throws it. He'll try to connect with wideouts. Ashton Hollins, just talked about him. And Kel Young Hollins is 6'4". He's an easy target to spot. The Vikings offensive line has experience, led by seniors Nick McCluskey, Jeffrey Chapman, and Connor Case. They average about 271 pounds. So we're looking forward to seeing how this offense is going to run. The flex bone, Corey, kind of similar to what they called a double wing offense. Well, there'll be 3 backs in the backfield at times. So this should be interesting tonight.
They want to run downhill to the Vikings. They want to roll those boats forward, and it's going to be up to that offensive line to get a great push on this big defensive line of Blount. But again, establishing the running game is going to be very important for offensive coordinator and head coach Stan McCain.
Something you don't see very often. Quarterback under the center, high school football, hands that one off to Ezel. He picks up a couple yards, maybe 3 or 4. Ball being placed right there on the 25-yard line. So it'll be about 2nd and 6 maybe for the Vikings. Maybe a long 5 here coming up.
Good job of giving it to the up back, but more importantly, getting positive yardage on first down.
Yeah.
And MGM will be in no hurry as they will go ahead and try to milk the 25-second play clock as much as they can to sustain those drives that they really want.
Coach McCain told us he's going to make the clock their ally as they hand that one off. Coming around on the backside for the Vikings, Edrin Houston. He picks up a couple there, Corey. They're going to be short, about 3rd and about 3 coming up here.
Is that he got positive yardage. The bad thing is on that toss sweep, you pitch the ball backwards 5 yards, and you have to run another 5 in great pursuit by Armani Diamond, the 6'1", 170-pound senior cornerback who is verbally committed to Louisiana Tech.
Coach McCain sending in those signals down to the staff on the sideline. A lot of running going to be happening in this particular offense. Grady McCluskey used to be the offensive coordinator. He's moved over to defensive back, Coach. And that's a first down picked up by the young man, Isaac Bozeman, as the Vikings on the move. See if we can get a look at the Blount defense, if we can get it up. And, of course, you've talked about him already, Corey. Lee Hunter, 5-star commit to Auburn. He gets off the ball, and we should see a lot of him tonight coming up the middle, trying to upset this flex bone offense. Also from the edge, you got senior defensive end Kyrie Lewis-Jones, and behind him in the secondary, you've already talked about him, Armani Diamond and Rayshard Kaiser at free safeties. The Leopards play a 4-3, and they average 256 pounds across the front, and it is first down for MGM. Ball at their own 35-yard line. They hand that one off to Chandre Young, and he's going to take a loss about 2 or 3 maybe, Corey.
Great pursuit by Kyrie Lewis-Jones, the 6'3", 225-pound senior linebacker, does a good job of pursuit. And I love the eye candy that Coach Stan McCain is giving the Blount Leopards. You have to go ahead and make sure you're viewing and watching the football, because if not, they'll hit you with the up back. But if you let them bounce to the outside, this MGM Viking offense does have great speed.
It's our first time seeing MGM, and I heard last week sorry, the week before, well, last week when they played Baker, score was only 3-0 at the halftime. I can see why now with this offense so deliberate. Bozeman just throws that one away, but we have a flag near the midfield stripe. Get the call from our white hat Rick Johnson tonight. Find out what's going on with that.
Chris Casher III, the free safety, 5'11", 210-pound junior, does a great job in pursuit of the quarterback, Bozeman, and made him throw it out of the pocket. But we'll see what happens after this yardage is tacked on.
So we have a holding penalty against the Leopards. That'll get MGM out of the hole a bit there, as that was second down.
Automatic first down in that situation now. So
previous spot, replay second down.
So they're going to replay second. So it wasn't enough to get the first down.
1 yard short.
Yeah, they're just short. There's the lookout officials tonight, led by Rick Johnson, Devon Davis, Jersey Burns, Andrew Hudson Jr., Joe Toxey, Chad Burns, and Paul Burks. They'll be doing all the action tonight for us on the field. So just not enough to get the first down for the Vikings where the penalty occurred. It'll be second and short, maybe about a yard, yard and a half here coming up for MGM.
One of the biggest things for MGM is to sustain drives. They took over possession of this football, I believe, at the 8:58 mark, and here we are at the 6:37 mark. They only have to get 1 yard for a first down.
Bozeman runs into Ezel behind him. Cannot get that pass completed out to Houston, but we have another flag on the play.
And that's in the area of offensive holding. And I wouldn't be surprised if somebody was tugging on Big Lee Hunter's jersey, trying to keep him from sacking the quarterback in that situation.
10. Holding on the offense, 10 yards from spot of the foul. Replay 2.
Corley Bounty, you called that one, so we're going to go back 10 as we had a hold, and you could probably see some of it right there on the jersey of Big Lee Hunter.
And Lee was looking around for the flag because he knew that he was being tugged on. He said, look, I would have got my quarterback pressure, a quarterback sack, had I not been held by that big, humongous Future One's white jersey that I'm wearing. But again, now the Vikings go from a 2nd and short now to a 2nd and 14.
So it is a replay of second down. Bozeman back to throw again. Ball tipped at the line. As that is batted down, so it'll be 3rd and long for MGM coming up here. That stops the clock at 6:26.
Great pressure by this Blount Leopard defense, but again, it's a huge difference between operating between 2nd and 1 and 3rd and 14 or 2nd and 14. And anytime you roll out of the pocket and you have an incomplete pass, you're not able to go ahead and try to bleed that clock. Now you're looking at a 3rd and long, which is right up Blount's territory.
They pitch it out to Chandre Young, and he is upended right there almost at the line of scrimmage, maybe loses about a yard and a half. So we'll get a look at Chris Brewer on to punt for MGM. He's a senior, and Corey, that drive basically just ate up some time for MGM. They got 1 first down, but that was about all they got picked up out of this drive.
Good open field tackle, I do believe, by Darrell Williams as he upends the running back. But I would not punt this football until the play clock probably gets right down to the 5 or 4 second mark on the play clock, because you want to take as much time away from Blount as possible.
Brewer with a nice punt there. And the punt is fumbled, but picked up, but recovered by the Leopards.
Melvin Williams, I do believe.
I think Tyler Beverly, number 18 there. But that could have been disastrous for the Leopards, Corey, but fortunately they're able to get on top of that and recover as we're at 5:33. And let's see if Rick Johnson is going to observe a heat timeout, but no, he's marking the ball ready to play.
And if that is Tyler Beverly who did fumble that kickoff, that is John Beverly, a name that's familiar here in the Mobile Baldwin County area, son.
So 1st and 10 for the Blount Leopards, ball at their own 35-yard line. Of course, we're going to try to get you impact players up here in a matter of moments. as MGM has that deliberate offense that they're running. Blount is very explosive. That ball almost picked off by the Vikings.
Quentin Lee.
Man, that was an interception right there and dropped the magic bean, Corey, unfortunately. Take a look at your impact players right quick.
When you start talking about impact players for the Blount Leopards, quarterback LaMarcus Brown, who we saw almost throw the interception right there, he has the ability to beat you with his feet as well as with his arm and beat defensive tackle Lee Hunter. Al mentioned earlier the 5-star commit who's verbally committed to Auburn University. And then for MGM, Ashton Hollins, a young man who plays both ways for the Vikings.
Right.
And Kelton Young, both of these guys play both ways, and I know we'll talk about that momentarily.
Brown steps up in the pocket. That pass incomplete as he tried to get it out to his receiver, Jerry Brand. He was right open in the middle on that seam route, Corey.
A couple of weeks ago when we saw the Blount Leopards take on the Central Wildcats, when LaMarcus Brown was able to step up in the pocket and catch his wide receivers in stride, that's the type of throw that he wants to be able to hit to his wide receivers, to where he kind of puts the biscuit in the basket, so to speak, over-the-shoulder type look, not necessarily those across the middle passes like you just saw Jerry Brand not be able to handle, but LaMarcus Brown is dynamic with his scrambling ability.
3rd and 10, 3 receivers, hooks up with Brand. If Brand can get rid of this tackler, and he cannot shake him off, so Blount is going to be short about 2 yards, looking at a 4th and 2, maybe a 4th and 3 coming up. Definitely a punt situation here for the Leopards.
And it'll be huge for this Viking defense if they're able to hold, and I mentioned special teams here. Lev Holly is going to go ahead and decide to gamble here on their own 44-yard line, just needing that 1 yard. Viking fans making some noise.
So Blount will not be punting, and looks like they may have picked up the first down as the young man comes across the line. Carl Dale Patrick may be called for the offsides, unfortunately, for MGM.
Prior to the snap, we got encroachment on the defense, 5 yards, first down.
So the penalty works against MGM into Blount's favor. That's a first down. Ball's placed at the 49-yard line of Blount.
Unfortunate, unforced error that will continue to allow the Leopards to go ahead and gain possession of this football. And if you're the Leopards now, you get a reset, a nice fresh shot in the arm here on first down. You can take your shot down the field.
Hand off to Williams as he cuts toward the line and brought down for about a 1-yard gain there.
Matthew Chapman, the 5'9", 165-pound senior, does a good job on the play, making the stop for the Vikings.
They credit Williams with about 2 yards, so it'll be 2nd and 8 coming up here for Blount as they look to the sidelines to offensive coordinator Melvin Jones, new OC for the Leopards, calling plays this year. Also has served as a special teams coach for them as well and continues to do that role for Blount. 2nd and 8, Brown airing it out. Armani Diamond, did he get his feet down? Did he catch it?
I think he did a tremendous
and they're
catch.
Marking it.
Tremendous throw and catch. They're going to discuss it, but if you have to discuss it that long, that's a first down. Great catch.
Wow.
And throw by the Leopards. You look at Brown, he has plenty of time.
That's the biscuit in the basket,
Corey. That's the type of throw that he can make, and that's how we saw Blount score on Central a couple of weeks ago, and that's exactly what he wants to do. Not those slants, just straight go routes to where he goes ahead and delivers the football and catches it in stride. Good adjustment that time by Diamond making that catch, and he has a plethora of wide receivers to choose from. I think Cam Graves and Melvin Williams can get involved, and if he makes that big-time pass now, the confidence of LaMarcus Brown goes to the roof.
And Brown is sacked, but more so brought down by MGM, and that's a huge loss for Blount right there.
Cardell Patrick, the 5'11", 180-pound junior, will get credit for the sack. And that's just a situation where if you're Blount, the low snap led to you losing yardage, but now that you've got the Leopards in close to 2nd down and 20 yards to go, you can't afford to let them pick up half of this yardage here and let them even get a first down for that matter.
Patrick makes up for that offside with that big sack there. Williams just runs into a wall of Vikings, picks up a couple yards. It'll still be 3rd and long for the Leopards.
Sean Maxwell does a great job of initiating the contact for the MGM Vikings, and he's been very active here in the first quarter.
Speedy first quarter we have right here, Corey. No heat timeouts being observed tonight. We're approaching 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Al Whedon, Corey Bounty, Mike Herndon on the sidelines. We're at E.S. Gotw Memorial Stadium in the beautiful city of Sims, Alabama. Corey, our first trip out to Sims this season.
And couldn't have asked for a better night of high school football.
You talked about that before the ball game. Brown trying to connect with one of the receivers, has Melvin Williams and just overthrows him, going for the shot for the end zone. And it'll be 4th down for the Leopards. Decision time for Coach Holly here.
And I go right back to it. I mean, you run a great route. You make the MGM defense and secondary adjust. I continue to go right back to the same type of play, whether it's to the left corner of the end zone or the right corner of the end zone. Again, this secondary, when they get caught in one-on-one coverage, they're giving close to a 7 or 8 yard cushion, but the Leopards need close to 15 yards to gain a first down.
Second time Blount has gone for it tonight on 4th down.
It's a good timeout.
And Coach Holly's going to call a timeout and talk to his guys. I think that is a good timeout right there at 2:07 remaining in the first quarter. While we have a break, let's thank our folks over at Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs, save more lives. A portion of subs purchased will go to the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation. Want to thank them for hooking us up with the good eats tonight. Jim and Susie Sherman over there at the Greenlight Road location of Firehouse Subs. Also, Future Ones, where you can get your team apparel and equipment from baseball to wrestling and all the sports in between. Wear the future with Future Ones. And Corey, we got to give a shout out to our producer, Quentin Howard. He likes our Future One polos so much tonight, he's trying to make a special order for large. And I said, no, that doesn't exist in this shirt. This is just XL and 2X, buddy.
I tell you what, I'm going to have to get on the horn to Gus Smith and Trent Massey. If you take a look, the Blount uniforms are Future One uniforms, and we want to thank for hooking our crew up, and they do a great job. But Quentin, I'm going to make that phone call for you, brother, and we'll get you taken care of.
Al Whedon, Corley Bounty, Mike Herndon on the sidelines handling the stats for us tonight is China Power as we welcome you to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Interesting contest. MGM has had the ball one time in the first quarter, and this is Blount's second possession and their second time going for it on 4th down, Corey, but this one's 4th and long. It's not a short one here.
All about execution right here for the Blount Leopards on 4th down and 15 yards to go. They have 5 wide, Al, which you know LaMarcus Brown can run for 15 yards also, but don't be surprised here if you don't have help over the top. I'm going right back to the end zone.
Brown looking to his left. He's going to air that one out and trying to connect, and that ball looks like it's going to be intercepted in the end zone. They're fighting over it.
It's Kelton Young all day long with the interception.
A.J. Robinson-Jackson, and they're calling it a touchdown for A.J. Robinson-Jackson. That's a 26-yard touchdown from Brown to Jackson. Now, Corey, I don't know if we have replay here at MGM. Every school may or may not have it. And I don't know if we're going to see the red flag come out. I don't know if MGM has replay here. Let's take a look at this great shot from the camera.
Kelton Young had it first.
Wow.
I think Kelton Young had inside position on that football first. Great job by the crew.
Yep.
And he did have inside position. The ball is loose right there. If we let it go just a couple more seconds,
and that's
it's
where
at the last moment wrestled away.
Wow.
By, I don't know. I don't know, Al.
They are fighting over that moon power,
Jump
brother.
ball.
I don't know.
That's exactly what happened.
Jerry Brand puts it up, and the PAT is good. I don't know if we can get that replay up again, but that is something else, Cora.
Jump ball is supposed to go to the receiver in that situation, and I mentioned they had to go into the end zone. They did. Kelton Young has it underneath, and at the last moment, it is wrestled away from him by A.J. Robinson-Jackson.
They are just wrestling for that moon pie,
both of them are trying to scrap after the ball, but I think Kelton Young actually does have possession of that football. but ultimately A.J. Robinson-Jackson is going to get credit. Great job by the truck bringing that replay. And Kelton Young's the inside. He has inside position. Robinson goes over the top of him and takes it away and rolls over. So, I don't know. That's just a bang-bang call.
Yeah.
That's real hard to make without the benefit of replay. But nonetheless, it's going to be a 26-yard touchdown, 9-play, 65-yard drive that took 1 minute and 55 seconds off of the clock for the Blount Leopards. But more importantly, they scored a touchdown on fourth down, no matter how you look at it.
It was about 4th and 15, Corey, and that was a huge play. 5 receivers to choose from. Unbelievable. I know Coach McCain is probably livid in the press box below us right now. And knowing him, if he was on the sideline, he probably would have called timeout and had a little chit-chat with some of the officials. Wow.
I do think that Kelton Young did intercept that football, Al. Kelton Young now returning it.
Right there, returning it, coming up to the near side at the 30-yard line, and he is swarmed over by the Leopards as he crawls his way to the 29-yard line. He put some work in on that return, so MGM will get the start here on their second possession.
And, again, you got to credit LaMarcus Brown for throwing the ball into the end zone where exactly you wanted it. And if it was intercepted, it was going to be taken back at the 20-yard line, so you're starting almost from the original line of scrimmage to where you started from. But I think Kelton Young did have inside position. Again, we have the benefit of replay.
Right.
The officials are looking at it in real bang-bang time, and it's kind of like the block charge in basketball. That's the hardest decision to make, but that's why you just continue to get in the weight room and wrestle.
I will say this, Corey. If there was ever a description of a 50-50 ball, that was one right there.
I agree.
That literally was a 50-50 ball. We have a flag on the play.
Replay first down.
So that's going to push MGM back about 5 yards. So delay a game against MGM. It'll be 1st and 15. As the Vikings just simply taking their time deliberately, Corey, making the clock their ally. But right now, they need to get some offense going. Had a pretty good drive the last time, but shot themselves in the foot with a holding call. They were 2nd and 1 and ended up stalling that drive as Bozeman carries that one almost back to the original line of scrimmage. So we'll call this 2nd and 10 here for MGM.
Stopped by Maliko Bell Donaldson, the 6'1", 200-pound junior linebacker on the play for the Blount Leopards. And the Vikings now trying to go ahead at 2nd and long, trying to take more time off the clock.
Quick handoff to Dominic Ezel up the middle. He goes, tries to stretch toward the first down marker. He's going to be short about a yard, or let's see exactly. I thought the stick was at the 40. It's at the 39. Let's see, and the sticks are going to move. That's a first down, Corey.
Nice hard run as we take a look at that instant replay provided by our crew. Dominic Ezel, you mentioned, just runs extremely with a low center of gravity. 6 foot, 190-pound bowling ball is this up back for the Vikings.
Got to give a shout-out to our man, Mr. Richard Burton with the Crichton Optimist Club. He's tuned in. Corey, he said that was an interception. According to him, that was an interception. So we know Mr. Burton has seen some football through the years. Big hit late on Bozeman as the quarterback keeper picks up about 3 yards for MGM. It's 2nd down and about 6.
And that's what, hey, I love the ability of the quarterback not to be scared to lower his head. Isaac Bozeman tries to bowl over Kel Smith, the 5'10", 175-pound junior linebacker for the Blount Leopards. Brings up 2nd down and probably close to 7 yards to go now for MGM with 10 seconds remaining here in the quarter. They don't have to run a play here. I don't know if they want to go ahead and do it to try to keep Blount off balance.
They decide to run, and for a second time, Bozeman runs into Ezel, and that pass is overthrown. Carl Del Patrick had it in his hands, and he dropped it, and that's the end of the first quarter with Blount on top 7-0 over MGM. We'll be back with second quarter action on the other side of this break. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
And 4th grade that I was going to be a teacher. I really just truly enjoy coming to work every day and working with different sets of kids and just watching them grow and learn.
I couldn't see myself doing anything other than teaching children, being a part of children's lives, being able to inspire them in a way that some people just aren't able to do. And to know that every day is a new day, a new opportunity to make a difference in the child's life means everything to me.
Hello, I'm Katrina Frazier.
And I'm Deborah Robinson, and we would like to be your next realtors. As homeowners, we know how confusing it can be searching to find that perfect home that fits your needs and budget.
For that reason, it's important to have a reliable partner to represent you and to be there for every step of your home buying process. You'll find the services offered through Berkshire Hathaway, Home Services Cooper & Company Realtors are second to none.
So whether you are buying or selling your home, call us today and let our experience work for you.
College football fans might recognize this flex bone offense that Mary G. Montgomery's running from Paul Johnson's days at Georgia Tech. Very similar, and a common misconception is that it's simply a triple option offense. You'll notice tonight that they do run some triple option, but there's also a lot of read option, and by moving those outside backs, the A-backs, up closer to the line, when they want to throw, they can go 4 receivers really easily. So there's a lot they can do in this offense. There's a lot of misdirection, a lot of motion, and they're using that to try to control the time right now. Ball control, Coach McCain says, is going to be a key to tonight's game.
You're right about that, and I promise you, Corey, we will not quiz you about the flex bone later in the broadcast.
No question about it. You look at the first quarter statistics.
Get your mic down, buddy.
31 rushing yards so far for the MGM Vikings. No passing yards for MGM. 31 total yards of offense, no turnovers by either team. Blount has 93 total yards of offense here in the first quarter of play.
Bozeman trying to connect with Ashton Hollins, and that ball is intercepted by the Leopards. Darrell Williams picks off Isaac Bozeman.
You have to take your shots, and I respect that tremendously by the quarterback, Isaac Bozeman, staying in the pocket and taking his shot down the field. It was a jump ball. It's going to lead to our first turnover, and he had the defender. If he would have been able to put just a little bit more on that football,
right,
he would have had him in stride, but it's going to be our first turnover of the contest tonight. 11:51 remaining here in the second quarter of play. Blount's going to look to try to strike quick and strike in a hurry to go ahead and try to pad this 7-0 lead.
Leopards come back out on the field at 11:51. And looking to connect and keep the offense moving. Little play action. They're going to toss a little screen out to Melvin Williams. He's cutting back in. I'm sorry, that's not Melvin Williams.
Graves.
That's Cam Graves, Corey.
Bye-bye.
He's on the move.
Bye-bye.
And I think he has taken it to the house. No, brought down at about, let's see what they mark it, maybe the 26 or 27-yard line. A simple little screen turns into a gigantic play for the Leopards.
That's what we've been waiting to see out of Cam Graves for these last couple of weeks. We know he has the explosive speed. Look at him turn it up north and south. He does not filly fart around with that football. He knows to go ahead and plant his feet in this green grass and get it upfield, and he has close to a 65-yard gain on that play.
So they're spotting the ball at right about the 30-yard line of MGM.
So, I mean, that's an explosive play of 50 yards for the Blount Leopards, but I like Cam Graves. I know Armani Diamond has done a great job of catching the football in the first couple of weeks for the Blount Leopards, but you better believe Cam Graves at 6'2", 210 pounds, he knows to do with the football, what to do with the football when he gets it also.
Rick Johnson coming in to discuss some things. It looks like they're moving the ball forward the line of scrimmage, so they're going to set it up at about the 26-yard line, Cora. So a better spot right there for the Leopards. Deshaun Williams takes it up to about the 21-yard line, picks up about 4 or 5 for the Leopards. It'll be 2nd and 5 as Blount is nearing the red zone.
Good job of the vision. hitting the hole of what I like to call Little Williams, because his brother Jarris Williams,
right,
who's the 5'11", 195-pound senior running back, is not playing tonight for the Blount Leopards. And Little Williams running hard just like Big Brother Williams does. It runs deep in the veins at Blount High School.
So we'll call it 2nd and 5 here for the Leopards. Jerry Brand in motion coming up right behind the right tackle. And this is a quarterback keeper right up the middle. You could sense LaMarcus Brown trying to take off, but he is wrapped up by a couple of those linebackers. Logan Tillman helped out by Matthew Chapman.
And what it was just a timing patience play.
Yeah.
He was just waiting for that hole to go ahead and open. It was a design run all the time for the Blount Leopards. Now you're in another 3rd down situation, and it's close to maybe the 4th or 5th 3rd down possession for the Blount Leopards here in the first half of play here at E.S. Gotw Stadium in Sims, Alabama.
Blount lined up in the pistol. They fake it to Williams. He's got a guy over the top, and Ashton Williams steps in front of the receiver, almost picked that one off. It's 4th down for the Leopards.
Yeah, Hollins does a great job of jumping on top of that route, and if he would have went ahead and tried to snag the football, he would have possibly intercepted that football out of bounds. But great job, shows the speed on this instant replay. You look at the play action pass, you look at Brown breaking the pocket, but look at over the top. Great job of knocking that football away by Ashton Hollins.
They were trying to get that one to Kyrie Lewis-Jones, who comes over from defense to play wide out for the Leopards. So Blount going for it again on 4th down. This is their 3rd time tonight going for it. And that interception right there by Logan Tillman picks off Brown. And Blount has their first turnover of the night, and the Viking faithful are excited.
And again, I mentioned that LaMarcus Brown does not do a great job of throwing the slants. He's a great job of throwing the ball over the top. He had a receiver that he missed over the top. A great job of the Vikings jumping on the route. Logan Tillman intercepts that football, and it's essentially the same thing as, again, Blount's first turnover of the contest. But you look at LaMarcus, he wish he would have had that throw back.
Yeah,
because he did not see the linebacker dropping back in the coverage. He thought that the slant was wide open to his wide receiver, Melvin Williams, and good defense by the Vikings.
And that previous pass, he was trying to get to Kyrie Lewis. I'm not going to say it kind of floated there, Corey, but Ashton Hollins jumped the route on that one. So Tillman basically just looked him, it like to say on the pro game, he just looked him dead in his eyes and read the route and jumped right in front of him.
Now you're in a 2nd down and short situation for the Vikings, but you've been in this situation before to where
Correct.
you want to go ahead and establish this 1st down. You don't want to be in 2nd and 2 and wind up in 3rd and 7. You want to go ahead and smash the Leopards up front, go ahead and continue to grind out the clock and get this 1st down.
Bozeman on the keeper, just following behind his big offensive line. They average 271 pounds, and that'll be a 1st down as MGM has moved into Leopard territory. It's going to be 1st and 10 ball at the Blount 44-yard line.
And as I mentioned, no hurry for the Vikings. Once that ball is spotted for play and the play clock starts to wind down, you're seeing the Vikings not snap the football until almost the 5-second mark on the play clock.
Bozeman keeps it again. It fakes it to Ezel. Picks up about 4 or 5 stumbles from maybe that last yard. And the Vikings just taking their time, deliberately working the ball down the field.
And that's exactly what you want. If you're offensive coordinator and head coach Stan McCain, you want to get positive yardage on 1st down, bring up 2nd or 3rd and short, allowing the clock to continue to grind down, and you're trying to keep this Blount defensive line off balance.
Young in motion as they give it to Ezel, bulling his way up the middle for another 1st down. Blount and MGM have met 23 times, and Blount leads the series 14-9 over the years. and they last played in 2013. Blount won that ball game 28-6. Corey, that was the last year they played. They were region opponents, but what happened in 14? The state of Alabama created 7A football, and MGM went up to 7A.
A lot of eye candy right now being given by Coach McCain, and if you're a linebacker, you have to make sure you stay home and keep that pad level very low, but the quarterback is doing a great job, Isaac Bozeman, of picking his holes in this flex bone offense that you mentioned, and he's having the opportunity sooner or later to hit that option, because right now,
look at that hole behind Ezel right there.
And that's a great job of push by this big offensive line, and a timeout's going to be called by the Leopards, as this is exactly what the MGM offense and the doctor ordered for them and their fans here in a socially distanced E.S. Grider Stadium crowd. But 7-0, our score here in the second quarter with Blount taking the lead off a controversial touchdown that was established. But sooner or later, you're going to see that option being run, because you've given it to the up back, you've given the quarterback running the line of scrimmage, but you see that the the halfback is in motion, and sooner or later that ball is going to be pitched. And as long as it's a good pitch, they have the wide receiver blocking, and they have numbers on the strong side of the field to go ahead and run that option as well.
And the guy to pitch it to is Edrin Houston or Carl Dale Patrick, as they play the A-back position. But on that last play, you can see that gigantic hole helped created by the B-back, Dominique Ezel, just runs right up the middle. And who's behind him? Isaac Bozeman with the magic bean, and picks up another first down for MGM.
Another good timeout that was called, because what you have an opportunity to do is regroup, regather yourself, and go ahead and try to control the line of scrimmage if you're the Blount Leopards, because right now the Vikings have done an outstanding job of imposing their will, especially on this particular drive that is ongoing. They picked up close to 3 first downs on this drive alone. 6:48 remaining here in the second quarter.
1st and 10 for MGM, ball at the Blount 21-yard line. Hand off to Ezel, and he is meeting a young man by the name of Lee Hunter, Corey.
Lee Hunter, the big 6'4", almost 300-pound defensive tackle, single-handedly makes that tackle, and you can see why he's an impact player. That's huddle material. He just sheds the blocker and goes ahead and slings Dominique Ezel to the ground. But that's what you have to do. You have to find a way to get into these gaps to where the quarterback is not comfortable and you're not hitting the up back as well.
No gain on the play. Bozeman's just going to keep that one, try to run behind Ezel, and the Blount Leopards are standing tall right now. Maybe a yard and a half gain. It'll be 3rd down for MGM as they are officially in the red zone. First time tonight, ball at the 19-yard line.
Continue to watch Edrin Houston, as he is the back that goes into motion for the Vikings. But here is not where the MGM Vikings offense flourishes. 3rd down and 8 yards to go. They had 0 passing yards in the first quarter of play. And talking with Coach McCain earlier this week, he wants to smash mouth football. He wants to run the football right at Blount.
Bozeman looks to the sideline. Play clock under 6. I was just thinking, MGM has used 1 timeout, and there's their second one. So both teams have 1 timeout remaining here with 5:26 left in the second quarter. When you need to know what's happening in Mobile County Public Schools, watch Inside Education with Helena Tyler for all the latest school news and in-depth reports on issues that affect your child right here on the MCPSS TV network. Al Whedon, Corey Bounty on the sidelines, Mike Herndon, China Powell doing the stats. And Corey, you mentioned it briefly in your previous statement about the crowd. I want to compliment the visiting crowd of the Blount Leopards. Corey, that visiting side, now I'm not one if you want to call it the snitch or anything, but I think that's a pretty substantial amount of folks on the visiting side tonight, Corey.
You have to be very happy.
It looks great over there, man.
You have to be happy if you're MGM, because Blount
brought a crowd,
venue revenue to your program.
They did.
And like you said, when you're family, you can sit as close as you want to. So we all know how close the Pritchard family is, and it's
evident.
That's
a shot at the home side right there, Corey. So I think Coach McCain and Principal Farrell might need to send a little thank you note to Principal Woods and Coach Holly for bringing the flock out tonight, man.
Parking revenue, concession revenue, and gate revenue. Anytime you can get a non-region game that's going to bring revenue to your program, that's important, especially in this COVID-19 era. But the MGM Vikings looking at 3rd down and 8 yards to go from the Leopards' 19-yard line. Have not completed a pass to my knowledge. Let's see what they go with here.
They've attempted a few, but they have not completed one that I'm aware of. Ezel's just going to keep it and try to run behind that big line. I'm sorry, not Ezel, but Bozeman.
I think he fumbled.
And the ball looks like it came out. The Leopards are saying they have it. But I think it will be MGM ball. No signal from Rick Johnson or any of the other officials. Here's the replay coming up.
And our crew has done a great job of bringing the replay, but you see the same play being run as he's scrambling forward, falling backwards.
But he was down, though. He was down.
And great job of rewinding that back. The ball was loose as his back did touch the ground, but the Blount defender might have been on top of him. But again, that's one of those bang-bang plays.
So it appears as if MGM is going to attempt the field goal. This will be a 22-yard field goal for Chris Brewer if he can connect. Had some motion from MGM. I think the guard jumped, Corey.
We saw a high school football game that was won last night.
That's correct. Citronelle over Bryant. They were flagged for an ineligible receiver on what they thought was the winning touchdown and moved them back. But Pedro Rodriguez connected that field goal for the Wildcats, and they picked up a win last night, 17-14 over Alma Bryant. So Rick Johnson and the crew discussing this, Corey. I mean, I saw the movement on top of the press box. I thought it was a false start myself.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. 5 yards, replay 4th.
So that'll push Brewer back 5 yards. And let's see if he has the distance. We talked to Coach McCain, and this is kind of, we're pushing it right here with a 27-yard field goal. He
37.
said pretty much, I'm sorry, 37-yard field goal. We're pushing the limits here for Brewer's leg. He's hooking it, and it is good. 37-yard field goal for MGM. Chris Brewer gets the Vikings on the board.
Huge make by the Vikings, and it gives their crowd a lot to cheer about. 37-yard field goal, 4:41 remaining here in the second quarter of play.
I have known since I was in 4th grade that I was going to be a teacher. I really just truly enjoy coming to work every day and working with different sets of kids and just watching them grow and learn.
I couldn't see myself doing anything other than teaching children, being a part of children's lives, being able to inspire them in a way that some people just aren't able to do. And to know that every day is a new day, a new opportunity to make a difference in the child's life means everything to me.
I believe my child's school is probably one of the best ones I could have picked in Mobile. She's in the PACE program. The teachers are phenomenal. The principal, couldn't ask for a better principal. The research that I had done myself, I believe the quality of education in Mobile County Public School System is excellent. For me and my child, I'm going to stick with the public school system. I think it's the way to go.
For our producer, Quentin Howard, director Wade Ford, handling engineering, it's Fran Conway. I'm Al Wheaton, Corley Bounty, and Mike Herndon on the sidelines. We welcome you back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Shot of the MGM Viking Water Tower right there, Cor, as we are in the city of Sims, Alabama tonight.
A beautiful night for high school football as fall has just begun, and when you're looking at this Blount team, they are explosive offensively. We've been waiting for that breakthrough. We'll see if we see it on this drive here, Al.
Kel Smith with a great return for the Leopards. I think they're going to mark him at about the 45-yard line as Blount has great field position. And, Corey, I must say here, a pretty great second quarter we have. Started off with an interception, and things have just been explosive this second quarter so far.
Exactly. A lot of action here. Now we'll see what the Blount Leopards are able to do after that last interception by quarterback LaMarcus Brown. He'll look to redeem himself, and he definitely has the abilities and capability of doing so. Last week against Saraland, he threw a couple of interceptions, and you kind of saw him in frustration go to the sidelines. Play the next play. We'll see how he bounces back here as he has explosive wide receivers. If they get open over the top, give them 6.
Quick out to Cam Graves, and he is right at the midfield stripe as he is upended by the Vikings. So it'll be 2nd and 5 coming up for Blount.
Nice safe throw out to Cam Graves and trying to use his explosiveness literally in this green grass on the short side of the field for the Blount Leopards. But we've seen the slot wide receiver Melvin Williams a couple weeks ago get wide open with his speed. Let's see if they try to find him a way to get the football as well.
Hand off to Deshaun Williams, and he has enough for the first down and picks it up, and the sticks will move for the Blount Leopards. It'll be 1st and 10 coming up.
And anytime you can get a freshman into action of high school football, it's always going to pay dividends, as again, you're looking at Deshaun Williams, the 5'10", 175-pound freshman running extremely hard for Coach Lev Holly's offensive team.
Blount on the 43-yard line of MGM. We're under 4 minutes, so, Corey, as you like to always say, your 4-minute offense, you can run it, run the clock out, and get some points. MGM will get the ball in the second half. And that little out to Armani Diamond, little screen. He's going to work his way up to about the 35-yard line, but he's still short of the first down stick.
Cardell Patrick, the 5'11", 180-pound junior on the stop. But what you do is you get your playmakers the football in green grass space.
Right.
You give Diamond, you give Graves, you give Williams an opportunity to get the ball in the open field and use their explosiveness, their speed, and their elusiveness to their advantage, and that's what Blount's offense does a great job of doing.
And we'll call it 2nd and 3 here coming up for the Leopards. Williams in the backfield with LaMarcus Brown. They hand it off to Williams. He's got plenty space. Oh, look at that hole he goes through as he works his way out of bounds, picks up the first down, close to the red zone for the Blount Leopards.
And you look at what I'm going to call little man Williams with a stiff arm as well for the Blount Leopards. And at 175 pounds, you see him extend that stiff arm to the sidelines. Great job, great vision, great push by the big offensive line up front. Bruce Crenshaw, along with Connor Howard, doing a great job as they make the principal, Jerome Woods, backpedal on the sidelines. Almost gave Principal Woods a stiff arm as well.
I saw that, Principal Woods in the shot there. Ball on the 23-yard line, just outside of the red zone. Blount on the move. They get it out to Cam Graves, just kind of picking their spots. 1, 2, 3, here we go. But they're continuing to have positive plays, Corey, as that one picks up about 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 6 for Blount.
Blount in no hurry offensively as they're doing a good job, as I mentioned, is LaMarcus Brown getting the ball out of his hands very quickly. I know David Morris at QB Country would be very happy to see how quick that ball is getting out of his hands to his wide receivers to let them do the work for him. Again, on this strong side of the field, which is the MGM Vikings side of the field, there's a lot of room.
Hand off to Williams, and he is just bowled over by the Vikings right in the middle there. He's going to take a loss of about 2 yards. It'll be 3rd and 10 for Blount.
Good job of the defensive line of the Vikings bowing up, and the cornerback coming up. Cardell Patrick again coming up and clogging up. 3rd down and 10 yards to go for the Blount Leopards. 1:35 remaining. You mentioned that 4-minute offense. Again, the Leopards just waiting to pounce on this Viking defense here, as one-on-one coverage is what the Leopards excel in.
And we know Blount has big play capability. We have seen it once tonight on a 4th and 15. They converted for their only score of the ball game. Brown fakes that one. He's just going to keep it. He's got room. Can he get the first down? He's going to be close, Corey. Let's see where this ball is spotted at. I believe the line to gain.
They're going to give it to him.
Was
he pick it up.
13.
That far linesman has it
Yeah, they're trying to. One official's ready to move the change, and the other one's like, hold on a second.
Right. And to me.
So, yeah, I think the line to get was the 13. They're spotting it at the 14.
And one of the linesmen ran beyond the football.
Yeah.
And it's going to be literally a leopard whisker short of getting that first down.
Yeah, it's a half a yard. So maybe the line to get is between the 14 and the 13, but Blount is just short. And I think Coach Holly's going to use his last timeout right here.
He is, and that's a good timeout.
Smart play.
Because it does stop the clock with 47.3 seconds remaining. The Leopards leading 7-3, trying to go ahead and get a very important score for momentum purposes going into halftime here at E.S. Gotw Stadium. And if this Viking team is able to keep the Leopards out of the end zone, that would be huge from a confidence standpoint. But on the flip side of that, you could see if the sails, the wind will be taken out of the sails of this Vikings team if Blount is able to score right here before the half also.
Got to thank the folks over there at Firehouse Subs for taking care of us tonight with the eats, Corey. Big shout out to Jim and Susie Sherman at the Relock Road location. If you're out near there, stop by there and get yourself some Firehouse Subs. Also, Future Ones, where you can get team apparel and equipment from baseball to wrestling and all sports in between. Make sure you wear the future. Wear Future Ones. Stick with us for halftime. We'll take a look at the Alabama Sports Writers Association top 10 polls from 4A, 5A, 6A, 7A, and also we'll look at some region standings as well as you see some shout of the crowd in the stands tonight here at E.S. Gotw Memorial Stadium.
Again, wonderful crowd right here as we come down to 4th down and a whisker for the Blount Leopards. They bring in the heavy beef.
The big package, kind of a pistol, and Brown goes up. I think they may be trying to draw him. They don't. And he has enough to get across. It's first down for Blount.
And he has a little assistance by somebody who weighs 315 pounds to help push him forward. The clock will stop as the officials get ready to spot the football, but this big offensive line trying to go ahead and get that push as it looks like it's going to be close to 1st and goal.
I believe it is. Ball on the 10-yard line, so it's 1st and goal. Over the top, and that ball was going to Lee Hunter. And Hunter is upset, Corey. He could have had him a touchdown.
And not only that, that would have been huddle time highlight film material for the big 315 defensive tackle. And you know they had been working on that as he just put a little bit too much zip on it for the big fella. But Lee Hunter at 315 pounds was wide open. We look at the replay, the play action, LaMarcus Brown just a little bit too high for Lee. Lee has great hands as he plays basketball also, but couldn't haul that one in.
You know who would have really been happy if he'd got that touchdown? John Vila, because he would have put that in his article, and he would have just got all the awards this past week from Ben Thomas and the crew at AL.com.
No question about that. I mean, that would have been one to where we definitely would have had to go ahead and send that one to something you don't see every day in plays in high school football. A 315-pound lineman's dream to have had an opportunity to catch that touchdown pass, but great job so far by MGM sticking around here in the first half of action because you were looking for Blount to come out and have a quick and fast start. And MGM made sure off of that jump ball, there was a controversial touchdown scored by the Blount Leopards, put 7 points on the board for Blount, and MGM did a great job of sustaining their own drive here in the second quarter.
Yeah, they did.
And finding a way to score.
And get on the board. Blount comes into this ball game averaging 20 points on offense and allowing 18. Now, they've only played 2 games, which is Saraland and Citronelle. And MGM, on the other hand, averaging 9 points on offense, and they allow 22 points on defense right now, only giving up 7 to this explosive offense of the Blount Leopards.
7 returning starters, again, for this Blount Leopard offense, Al. And when you're in a situation to where now you're at 2nd down and it looks close to goal to go.
Yeah, it's goal to go.
For the Blount Leopards, time management is going to be a factor for the Blount Leopards
so
right here.
Both teams out of timeouts, Corey. So time is crucial, and mental fortitude very important here for Blount. You don't want to have any mental miscues as they put the 2 big uglies in motion right there. trying to connect with Armani Diamond, and that is a touchdown for the Blount Leopards. LaMarcus Brown to Armani Diamond, Corey.
Inside leverage was given up by Quentin Lee, and Diamond took the inside route on the cornerback, did a good job, and that time LaMarcus Brown threw that slant on the money for the touchdown. Very similar to the pass that he had intercepted, but he knew exactly what he wanted to do. Diamond knew the route that he wanted to run. Quentin Lee did not get underneath the wide receiver, and because of it, that's just great offensive execution by the Blount Leopards.
Brand on for the PAT, and it is no good. So Blount on top, 13-3. We'll be back with the last 27.5 seconds of the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
At Mobile County Public Schools, we believe it starts with us. That's why we offer Signature Academies.
I'm Tracy Tran, and I'm in the Healthcare and Dental Academy at Theodore High School. In the Dental Academy, I'm working alongside dental professionals getting hands-on training from those already working in the industry. Shadowing them on the job makes me want to work even harder because now I know what I want to be.
Signature Academies are open to all students in Mobile County Public High Schools. To find out more, visit MCPSS.com.
We welcome you back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. 27.5 seconds remaining here in the half, and Blount on top 13-3 after that 10-yard pass from LaMarcus Brown to Armani Diamond. And Corey, Brown was on point with that slant pass right there.
It was a great throw by LaMarcus Brown, a great route by Armani Diamond right there inside the goal line area. The cornerback did not have proper leverage and had poor coverage, and Blount was able to capitalize.
Ashton Hollins coming up the middle with this kick return, and a great return by Hollins. Ball going to be spotted at about the 44-yard line of MGM. Here's a replay of that touchdown pass.
And again, you look at the defensive back on the play, Quentin Lee, the 5'6", 155-pound senior, very frustrated, hit his helmet in disgust, knowing that he did not have good inside leverage. You want to force that over-the-shoulder throw, the corner throw. You don't want to give up the inside and the slant like he did in that position. But that's just a teaching point for this young fella, for the MGM Vikings, as we're 20.3 seconds away from halftime.
Hand off to Ezel, and he picks up a couple, and that will probably run out the clock for us here in the first half, Corey, with Blount on top 13-3. MGM does not even have to snap the ball here. Interesting first half, Corey. First quarter kind of started off slow, had the one big play where Blount went for it on 4th down and 4th and 15, and then going into the second quarter, first play interception, and MGM kind of gets themselves back into the ball game a bit.
Yeah, with that jump ball situation, that was huge in favor of the Blount Leopards. Could have gone either way with the receiver and DB. That's how they were able to get their first score of the game. MGM did a good job of securing this 37-yard field goal to put 3 on the board.
That was huge.
The score right here before halftime. We'll see if that leads to momentum for Blount in the second half, or whether the MGM Vikings are able to retool and find a way to get it done here in the second half of action.
Yeah, good look at the flex bone offense. We know Coach McCain is right below us in the press box calling plays. So right now we're going to take it down to Mike Herndon and see who he has on the sideline with him.
With assistant coach Scott Atkins, Mary G. Montgomery. Coach, an awful lot of college prospects on that other sideline, and up until that last drive, your team's gone toe-to-toe with them. How do you feel about how you played in the first half?
Our guys are playing hard. One of the touchdowns shouldn't have been. We went up for the interception, came down with it, but apparently they stole it in the pile, and the official gave it to them, but we're not quitting. Our kids don't quit.
What do you think your team needs to improve on or do differently in the second half to get this score flipped around?
Staying on blocks, pass protecting a little better, and getting the ball out of the quarterback's hands a little bit earlier when our receivers are first open.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
All right, thank you.
All right, Corey, there we have it, the things MGM needs to do to come out better in the second half.
And he hit the nail on the head. Those are things that will be addressed. Again, trying to get the quarterback to release the football a little bit more. It'll be interesting to see what China Powell's statistics say at halftime as to how many passing yards the MGM Vikings had, and again, how many rushing yards the Blount Leopards had, as well as total yardage, because that'll kind of tell the story here of the first half of action.
All right, we'll be back with some halftime action for you coming up. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
I'm Renee Phillips, your host of Homeroom. Will you join us as we talk with the students, teachers, and staff about all of the great things happening in our schools?
That's right, Renee. Not only are we here to keep you informed about the great things happening in our schools, but to also keep you updated on safety issues.
Our show, Safe Schools, looks at ways to keep your child and our students safe.
Not only are we looking at ways to keep your child and our students safe, but to keep you informed on how to connect with us.
Manténgase informado aquí en Conexión a Padres.
And we also score big from pre-K to high school with MCPSS Athletics.
And then Inside Education puts it all together for you, showing you the ins and outs about news and events taking place across the Mobile County Public School District. We do this to keep you informed.
Hello, my name is Kyla Brown, and I am redefining ready. I'm taking AP and dual enrollment courses that will help me earn college credits while in high school. I am studying dental science that will assist me in my career choice of becoming a dentist. I am a Student Government Association representative and actively involved in other activities around my school and community. And this is how I am redefining ready.
Welcome you back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Blount on top 13-3 over MGM. Mobile County Public High School students now have a choice. They can choose which of the district's 12 high schools they would like to attend. Students can transfer to any of the district's high schools in order to attend the Signature Academy of their choice. Signature Academies are specialized academies within each high school that provide students with a specialized curriculum that relates to different careers and industries, preparing them for college and or a career after graduation. Here's a look at the Signature Academies.
Mobile County Public Schools have endless options to prepare you to be college and career ready. The academies of Mobile County Public Schools are small learning communities that afford students in the 10th through the 12th grade the opportunity to participate in real-world, hands-on assignments connected to a specific career theme. Let's take a look at the Signature Academies offered at our 12 high schools in Mobile County Public Schools. The AP Capstone Academy at Baker High School houses a prestigious diploma program created by College Board, which is highly recognized by universities and colleges around the world. Along with 23 content-driven advanced placement courses, the 2 capstone courses develop student skills in research, analysis, evidence-based arguments, collaboration, writing, and presenting, perfect for preparing students for continuing their academic careers in college and beyond. Ben C. Rain High School is home to the Signature Academy of Aviation and Aerospace. Students have the opportunity to learn about career and college opportunities available in aviation technology and aerospace engineering, including the opportunity to be part of a team building an actual airplane in the Academy's hangar. At Ben C. Rain High School, we are building the future of aviation, one student at a time. Blount High School's Academy of Pre-Med, Medical, and Advanced Healthcare Careers is designed for students who would like to pursue a career in the fields of medicine, pharmacy, nursing, allied health technology, systems management, optometry, and dentistry. Foundation and skill-based courses prepare students for careers in health sciences through classroom instruction, laboratory experiences, and service-related activities in community convalescence and hospital facilities. Murphy High School is where excellence in academics meets tradition. Become part of the Panther legacy by joining the tradition of excelling through the Academy of International Baccalaureate and Early College. Students who enroll in this rigorous program will excel in their studies and personal growth. Past students have stated that participating in the Academy of International Baccalaureate prepared them to enter college. They also made lifelong friends and received individualized instruction. The Biomedical Academy at Mary G. Montgomery High School is a comprehensive overview of the biomedical industry. Graduates of the program are prepared to start work as an entry-level lab tech in most medical labs or to take on the demanding courses needed for certification in any medical field. Williamson High School's Academy of Maritime Engineering and Entrepreneurship is designed to expose students to a wide range of careers in the maritime industry, engineering, or the business world. The Maritime Academy helps students build skills in the welding, multi-craft, and electrical fields. Through the Engineering Academy, students gain experience with general engineering design and application, readying them for in-demand post-secondary engineering programs. The Entrepreneurship Academy provides students with the knowledge and skills necessary for economic success in the 21st century. Williamson's motto is Great Expectations in Pursuit of Excellence. They strive to build students' character and prepare them for tomorrow by providing them with unique educational training. The Academy of Coastal Studies at Bryant High School provides 5 pathways for students to empower themselves with the knowledge and skills needed to protect and preserve the environment and the livelihood of the beautiful Gulf Coast. Students may choose from coastal environmental studies, agri-science, fisheries management and aquaculture, maritime and industrial technologies, and recreation, travel, and tourism. Because of the close connection between the pathways, students have the option to take courses in multiple pathways, providing an even wider base for career or collegiate opportunities. The John L. LaFleur Magnet High School Academy of Law, Arts, and Health Services has been designed to combine a college preparatory and technical curriculum with a career theme. Our students have the opportunity to explore different pathways through networking and hands-on engagement within their career fields of interest. The Academy of Advanced Information Technology at Viger High School provides entry-level experience in programming and software development, networking systems, and active multimedia in a multi-user computing environment. The Academy prepares students with real-world experience for in-demand employment opportunities in an ever-changing world. Davidson High School is the home of 2 signature academies, the Engineering Pathways Integrated Curriculum, or EPIC, and the International Baccalaureate Diploma Program, or IB. The IB Diploma Program is a specialized curriculum which emphasizes both breadth and depth of knowledge by focusing on higher order thinking and communicating the knowledge gained in each of the core areas, foreign language, and in art. EPIC is a specialized math and science curriculum that prepares students for post-secondary college and careers in one of its 3 pathways, engineering, biomedical, or computer science. We would love for you to come see the Davidson difference for yourself. Theodore High School's Academy of Industry and Engineering strives to develop young people who are college and career ready after high school. The programs boost opportunities for students to excel in a career by giving them advantageous skill sets while developing connections through local business partners. Citronelle High School hosts the Academy of Manufacturing, offering experience in the field of manufacturing through opportunities such as dual enrollment in the welding program at Bishop State Community College and internships with multiple local companies throughout the school year. Companies looking to hire skilled workers, such as students trained in the Academy of Manufacturing. There is a world of opportunity awaiting students through signature academies. Which academy will you choose?
And there's a look at our signature academies. We want to apologize for not showing the Blount Leopards. They were playing away from the home side, and right now MGM is playing, but they are not taking the field, so we're not able to show them as well. We're going to come back and take a look at the Alabama Sports Writers Association top 10 polls. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Each month, more than 90 guns are reported stolen from unlocked vehicles, creating the potential of serious injury or death.
Lock it up.
Many violent acts and crimes are committed with stolen guns.
Lock it up.
According to ATF, stolen guns pose a substantial threat to public safety.
Lock it up.
Be responsible. Take time to record your handgun serial number and secure it from thieves. Lock it up.
Lock it up for me. As a student in the Mobile County Public Schools, there are a few things I've come to expect. One is a quality education, and the other is a quality lunch. Not only are our school meals well balanced, meeting all federal nutritional standards, but they also have less fat, fewer calories, and they taste really good. Oh, and I forgot to mention, our school lunches contain whole wheat, grains, fruits, and vegetables to give me the energy and brain power to get me through the day.
I'm Bailey Buck. I attend MGM High School. Here I'm pursuing my career in the dental industry. I'm currently enrolled in honors classes that will help prepare me for my future. My name is Bailey Buck. I am preparing for tomorrow today.
Hi, I'm Todd.
And I'm Terry, and we'd like to invite you to join us as we take a look at nature in ways that you've never seen before.
Come travel with us as we go coast to coast to uncover some of the most interesting animals.
And some of the most beautiful scenery that's offered outdoors.
You can join us on our nature adventures right here on the MCPSSTV network.
We welcome you back to the MCPSS High School football game of the week. Blount on top 13-3 over MGM. Let's take a look at the Alabama Sports Writers Association top 10 polls, and we'll get our top 10 recap going on here. Starting in 4A, American Christian is still atop the poll at number 1, with the undefeated Mobile Christian Leopards sitting in the middle at number 5. Jackson rounds out the poll right here at number 10, and outside the top 10 poll are the Vigo Wolves, Corey, picking up 3 votes in the 4A poll. Let's take it up to 5A, and up in 5A, Central Clay County and St. Paul's are still 1 and 2 in the poll, and St. Paul's actually picking up 3 first-place votes this week. Faith Academy's lost to St. Paul's last Saturday, drops them down 3 spots to number 8, and UMS Wright rounding out the poll right there at number 10. So 3 local teams here in the 5A poll, Cora.
Another strong region. You look at 5A and 6A to me being extremely strong from a local representation standpoint, and you have Faith Academy, UMS Wright, and St. Paul's all deserving to be in the top 10.
All right, let's take it on over in 6A. The top 2 remain the same. But the Blount loss to Saraland last Saturday moves Pinson Valley up 1 spot to 3. With that win over Blount, the Saraland Spartans, they jump from 6 to 4, and Blount falls 6 spots down to number 9. McGill-Tulane, they're sitting at number 10 for the 2nd week in a row. And, Corey, I think you told me they're sitting on top of Murphy right now, leading in that contest.
Well, we know the situation that both of these teams have an opportunity to paint the cannon. And due to COVID-19, they said that socially distancing and painting of the cannon will not take place by the students. But I guarantee I have a strong feeling now that tomorrow morning when the city workers wake up, that cannon will be one shade or the other.
Right.
It definitely won't be the color that it normally is.
I got you, which is black right there at the loop. All right, let's take it up to 7A. In 7A, Thompson still holding on to the top spot in the 7A poll, as well as all 23 first-place votes in the poll. Hewitt-Trussville's lost to Thompson last week, drops them down to number 4, which bumps up Hoover and Auburn to 2 and 3. Fairhope is in at number 7 with Daphne and Theodore tied at 8. Now, do keep in mind, Corey, Theodore beat Daphne 2 weeks ago by a point in overtime, and the Bobcats beat Murphy last week. So now Daphne has not played a game since losing to Theodore, and the Trojans game last week against Foley was canceled or postponed due to Hurricane Sally, and Daphne is off this week. So look for that game to be rescheduled soon. It is a region game, so Fairhope not playing this week. I think Daphne and Foley are playing Monday, as a matter of fact. So interesting that Daphne's on top of Theodore, and Theodore beat Daphne in overtime.
Well, again, 7A Region 1 is extremely strong competition also, but the Theodore Bobcats have proven that they definitely belong. I mean, the resounding win that they had over the Murphy Panthers 1 week ago at Lad Peoples Stadium shows that Eric Collier, with the 1-2 healthy punch offensively of Richardson, as well as the other running back that they have, Kirsten Rogers. That's big time for Eric Collier. And the biggest thing for Coach Collier and the Bobcats, as with most teams around this time, are going to be staying healthy. And that's the one thing that Coach Collier wanted to continue to work on, is finding a way to keep his team healthy.
Well, we worked our way up in the polls. Let's work our way down in the standings. And you just talked about Theodore on top at the 7A Region 1 standings in the area at 4-0. And Baker and Murphy sitting right there tied at number 2 and 3. That's going to be a big game next week. Baker beat Murphy last year, but lost to Bryant, and needed Bryant to beat Murphy for Baker to get in the playoffs, as they beat MGM here, and it did not happen, Corey. So that's a big game next week, Baker Murphy.
It really is. It always finds a way to come down to like that last week of action, head-to-head wise. But when you start looking at the top of that 7A Region 1, we just mentioned how good the Theodore Bobcats look, but you just also said that Murphy struggling against McGill tonight in a non-region game. How huge that game's going to be a week from now between the second and third place teams in 7A Region 1 right now.
Things are not, they're still up in the air, but you have Fairhope and Daphne on the outside looking in. They still have chances to show themselves worthy as well. Let's take it down to 6A Region 1, and that's the region that one of our teams right here plays in, Blount, as they're sitting at 2-1. That loss against Spanish Fort drops them back. Saraland, they lost at Saraland last week, drops them back two spots behind Saraland. Saraland undefeated in region play. McGill, Tulin all over Murphy, as we talked about that earlier. And Robertsdale, they started out the season 3-0, Corey, but they've had a little hiccups there, 1-1 in the region. And winless in the region, you have Baldwin County, Gulf Shores, and Citronelle. And hopefully things will get together for our Baldwin County teams so they can get back on play. A couple of those games, they got to be made up because they're region games. They have to be made up.
Yeah, the good thing is, though, a lot of these teams from the Baldwin County area had byes this week.
Yeah, that was
And
fortunate.
it just so happened to fall that way by design. It's not that they were required to have a bye. It's because they happened to have a bye when they created the schedule at the correct time, to where they don't have to worry about losing any revenue. They can focus on the family and getting back the community healthy, because some areas still don't have power. And the tremendous loss of property and damage that was sustained due to Hurricane Sally has affected these games. But their region games, by state mandate, will be made up sometime this upcoming week.
Let's take it down to 5A Region 1 and take a peek over there. You have Satsuma on top at 3-0 in the region. Who would have saw that coming, Corey? And right behind them, you have St. Paul. So that's going to be an epic matchup when those two are headed to meet together. St. Paul's got that win over Faith Academy last week. UMS, quite a surprise there at 1-1 in the region, but we know this is tough for them. They had to move up due to competitive balance from 4A, so now you're playing a little bigger boy football for 5A for the UMS Bulldogs, Corey.
LaFleur and Cottage Hill both tied at 13 all at halftime at Lad Peoples Stadium, and that would be a huge win for Chris Raymond and the LaFleur Rattlers if they're able to get that first win. Satsuma sitting atop at the 5A Region 1 standings, and their best running back / defensive back gets an injury to his knee, and he'll be out the rest of the season.
That's
and
huge.
That was huge for Coach Ray Nelson and the Satsuma Gators. But when you start looking at St. Paul's, Faith Academy, UMS and Satsuma, all great teams that have a lot of region games left yet to be played.
Let's take it down to 4A as we wrap it up. Last region here we're covering, Mobile Christian. You just talk about that ball game. I'm sorry, not Mobile Christian, Cottage Hill Christian playing LaFleur tonight, but Mobile Christian undefeated overall and in region play. Right behind them Jackson, and then you have Williamson and Viger. So this region still up in the air as well, but it's getting close to wrapping up because 4A Region 1 isn't as large as 6A and 7A with 8 and 9 teams. So the rubber's going to meet the road pretty soon in the next 2 or 3 weeks for 4A Region 1.
Mobile Christian with the huge win over Viger, shutting them out. And you look at Williams, and Williams up 22-0 over Charles Henderson on the road.
Wow.
And kudos to Derek Sumter and his crew for having to play a Monday night game at W.S. Neal and then turn around and play in a Friday night game on the road in Montgomery. That's a tough road to hoe in that situation. Yeah. But Coach Sumter at halftime so far has done a great job getting his team back focused on a very, very short week.
All right, that's a look at the region standings. We're going to take a quick break. No, we're not going to take a break. We're going to stay right here and look at the stats from the first half, Corey. I know you've been waiting on this as we'll get it up as we're close to getting back to third quarter action. So here are the stats, Future One's halftime stats.
Rushing yards so far, 69 for the Blount Leopards, 77 for the Vikings of MGM. And the one that stands out that I talked about going into halftime is the 0 passing yards by the MGM Vikings as opposed to 146 for the Blount Leopards. The total yardage, 215 for the Blount Leopards, only 77 for the Vikings. One turnover apiece for both of these teams. Lev Holly has to be very happy with the fact that his team has only been penalized one time for 10 yards in the first half of play. 4 penalties for 25 yards for the Vikings. Our halftime score, the Blount Leopards lead the MGM Vikings 13-3 here at E.S. Greider Stadium.
All right, there's the Future One's halftime stats. We're going to take a break and come back with third quarter action for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
At Mobile County Public Schools, we believe it starts with us. That's why we offer Signature Academies.
Hello, I'm Jordan Clark, and I'm in the Health Service Academy at John L. LaFleur Magnet High School. My future career is to be an obstetrician-gynecologist. With this academy, I'm learning firsthand from people already working in the industry. Shadowing them on the job really makes me want to study hard and work harder towards my career goal.
Signature Academies are open to all students in Mobile County Public High Schools. Visit MCPSS.com.
As a student in the Mobile County Public Schools, there are a few things I've come to expect. One is a quality education, and the other is a quality lunch. Not only are our school meals well-balanced, meeting all federal nutritional standards, but they also have less fat, fewer calories, and they taste really good. Oh, and I forgot to mention, our school lunches contain whole wheat, grains, fruits, and vegetables to give me the energy and brain power to get me through the day.
We welcome you back to E.S. Greider Memorial Field for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Let's take it down to the sidelines with Mike Herndon.
You might notice we have a few superheroes.
For the second half kickoff, MGM will be receiving the ball in the second half here, Corey. They had it last in the first half. Had a great return from Ashton Hollins just before halftime, but they couldn't capitalize on it. We know this offense is not built for spectacular or explosive plays. It's very deliberate, but 77 yards total offense for the Vikings, all on the ground.
And if you're the MGM Vikings, it's okay to have 0 passing yards because, again, the time of possession was close to being in your favor.
Right.
The only thing that was not in your favor is the scoreboard at this point in time, and that's because Blount was able to score 6 points right before halftime on that 10-yard slant to Armani Diamond. But here we go, here in the second half. MGM had time to talk to head coach Stan McCain in the locker room to make those adjustments, and they want to go ahead and continue to bleed this clock and sustain drives to begin the second half of action.
Want to apologize for the audio for Mike Herndon there. We're going to try to get back down to him as we start the third quarter. Ashton Hollins on the move once again with another return, almost about to the same spot he was at with that last return of the second quarter. Ball being placed at about the 39-yard line for MGM.
And that's exactly where you're able to get good field position to start the second half of action for MGM. You mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Mike Herndon mentioned that they're running a flex bone
offense, yeah.
And that's kind of predicated upon Isaac Bozeman having the opportunity to pitch it to his running back who's in motion, Edrin Houston, or give it to the back, Dominic Ezel. So Blount in the first half got caught looking at the eye candy in motion. Let's see if they settle down and dominate the trenches here in the second half of action.
Bozeman keeps it up the middle once again. They're continuing to go back to that quarterback up the middle play. Picks up about 3. Ball placed at the 45-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 6 for MGM.
The biggest thing, though, is positive yardage. You'll hear me say that. When on 1st and 2nd down, the Vikings have to control the clock and get positive yardage in order to control the clock here in the second half.
This ball placed right in front of us, Corey, as we sit atop the press box here at E.S. Gotw Memorial Field. Edrin Houston in motion, and Bozeman is popped at the line of scrimmage by a couple of Leopards, driving him back. No gain on the play. It'll be 3rd and 7.
Good job of Malik Obel Donaldson from his linebacker position making that stop for the Blount Leopards, and now you're bringing up 3rd down and 9 as you look at that pop. And he's able to go ahead and wrap up and clean up. Also has help from his teammate, number 28, Kyrie Lewis-Jones, cleaning up on the play also. But now 3rd and 9, 0 passing yardage for the Vikings here in the first half of action. Let's see if they go ahead and complete their first pass of the game or continue to run it.
Houston goes into motion. Bozeman just flipping it back out to the receiver, and he falls down. He's immediately down when he goes to the ground. Chandre Young. So they're going to mark him down right there where his bottom hit the ground, Corey, unfortunately for MGM. They get nothing out of that play.
A great offensively designed play by Stan McCain. The throw was not on the money to Young Jr., and because it was not, it led to him losing yardage. Going to bring up 4th down and 15 yards to go for the MGM Vikings, as now this explosive Blount Leopard defense has held the MGM Viking offense off, and the Leopard offense now has an opportunity to get some of their dynamic returners involved in the special teams game.
Rashad Kaiser and Armani Diamond back. Low snap for Brewer, but he gets the punt off. It's going to be a bit short. Bounces off of Matthew Chapman of MGM, and they will mark it at the 25-yard line. So we'll get another look here at LaMarcus Brown in the offense, their first time touching the ball in the 3rd quarter.
And LaMarcus Brown, right before the half, threw that slant, something on a short field that he did extremely well. He forced the slant earlier in the game and threw that interception.
Correct.
That led to good field position and ultimately 3 points on the board for the Vikings. But let's see here if offensive coordinator Melvin Jones decides to go for the shot coming out of the second half to his speedsters, Cam Grays or Armani Diamond, or if he decides to go to Melvin Williams in the slot.
2 seconds left on the play clock, and Blount gets the ball off just in time to Deshaun Williams. They get that snap off, close to picking up a delay of game. Maybe Williams picks up 1 yard, maybe, Cora?
Yeah, let's go back and talk about what we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast. Jarris Williams, the young man, the 5'11", 195-pound back who's a senior who was verbally committed to Troy University, is not playing tonight.
Yeah, out with a sore shoulder there. Yeah.
If he is not playing tonight, he said, don't worry about it. I'll pass the baton to my little brother, Deshaun Williams, who is number 4 for the Blount Leopards, and he's been toting the rock tonight for the Blount Leopards.
Williams goes into motion, and they try to dump that one underneath to Rashad Kaiser, trying to fool MGM there, getting back maybe to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be about 3rd and 9, so no gain on that one, Corey.
Now, if you're the Blount Leopards, you're at 3rd down and 9 yards to go. The worst thing you could do is force the throw here and turn the football over. The best thing you can do is flip the field and go ahead and make the Vikings return the punt, but you want to make sure you do not turn the football over.
Brown had Diamond in the flat there, waiting for him to clear out, still trying to reach it to him. And he short hops it to Diamond, and that is incomplete. So it'll be 4th down for Blount. Looks like they're going to have sent out the punting team right now.
They are going to have to send out a punting team, and that's a win if you're the MGM Vikings. You did not have any progress on your opening drive to start the second half of play, and neither did Blount. And being this deep in their own territory, I don't think that they would fake a punt. But here's some scores from around the area. At halftime, LaFleur 13, Cottage Hill 13. In the third quarter, Saraland 21, Davidson 0.
Darius Williams gets the punt off, Core, and Kill Young just avoids it. It'll be MGM's ball at about the 37-yard line here.
Some other scores at halftime. McGill-Tulane led Murphy 20-0. UMS Wright leading T.R. Miller 21-12 also in this evening of action. The Williamson Lions up 22-0 on Charles Henderson also.
That's big. That's big for them. You're right, playing on an extremely short week, as you mentioned, playing Monday night on the road and back on the road again. So MGM with the 3-and-out on the Leopards right there. So Isaac Bozeman leads his Viking crew back onto the field. Ball at their own 27-yard line. Down 10 points here in the third quarter.
And you just want to ground and pound. If you're the Vikings, no pass completion so far as they're going to continue to give the Leopards a steady dose.
To Edrin Houston, who gets to about the 40-yard line. Decent gain there. First time kind of going out wide for the Vikings on that pitch.
With the pitch, if you have pursuit, that's something that the Leopards were working on. And wanting a face mask on the play was Houston, and I didn't see it on that replay. But right now you have different personnel coming in for the Vikings as they're continuing to substitute, using as much time on that play clock as possible. 7:30 remaining here in the third quarter.
Corey, if I think back, it's probably been since the first quarter that MGM has attempted a pass with that handoff to Ezel. He's close to the first down marker. They've just simply been ground and pound running the ball.
And Stan McCain said that steady dose was coming when he spoke with both of us earlier this week. And now you're at third down and very manageable. 2 yards to go. You've had success in that flex bone offense of the quarterback keeping the football or giving it to the up back in this situation. And it looks like a true wishbone formation now.
Right now it does. Ezel on the move as he gets into Leopard territory. They're going to mark that one at the 42-yard line of Blount. First down for the MGM Vikings.
Nice job of hitting the hole. Good job of opening it up. Ducking his head, making sure that he was clearing any traffic was Dominique Ezel, and he was one player away from getting 6 points and a huge run nonetheless for the MGM Vikings.
Approaching 6 minutes here in the third quarter. Hand off to Matthew Chapman as they bring him in over to offense. And the Leopards just push him back. Coach McCain told us 2 things about both kids playing both ways in 7A for him. It's tough for MGM to match up with a lot of the 7A schools due to the level of talent that they have here at MGM. They kind of think they're on par with more of a school like Bryant. So it works best to put the kids in a good situation to play winning football. And then he said, secondly, Corey, they just don't have enough experience coming back. So he's got to put his best players on both sides of the ball each time they're on the field.
Big push by the offensive line up front is met by Lee Hunter, who goes ahead and plugs that hole quickly. It'll be third down and close to 7 yards to go for the Vikings.
Yeah, sorry, not Chapman on that carry. That Logan Tillman. Tillman had the interception of LaMarcus Brown earlier in the contest, which led to an MGM field goal. Don't forget, coming up soon, we're going to have the Game of the Week Brain Buster. Corey, we're going to put one out. So far, you're undefeated on the season, Corey. You're 3-0, so we're going to see if the Brain Buster, you can get it this week, so stick around for that. We'll have the Game of the Week Brain Buster question coming up pretty soon. That handoff to Dominique Ezel, trying to turn the corner, and the Leopards kind of overplay it, and Ezel's going to pick up enough for a first down. Great run by Dominique Ezel.
On the play, Logan Tillman gets up very slowly, but a great job of pitching the ball. Once you lose containment, And the wide receiver's doing a good job of cut blocking. A nice run by Ezel as he picks up a first down for the MGM Vikings. And we mentioned it. MGM has not had a pass completion for this contest tonight, and we're at 4:35 left here in the third quarter.
They threw a couple early in the first quarter. Bozeman is just going to keep that one and bull forward for about 3 or 4 yards. Now, keep in mind, Corey, if this game gets tight, you never know what could be up Coach McCain's sleeve because he has been the special teams coach since he's been here at the MGM. He said this year they're doing it by committee, but we've seen him attempt some things over the past couple of years that had you scratching your head. He can get creative with some interesting plays when he wants to.
And offensively, he's come up with some interesting situations also, but this line is getting great push now for the Vikings, and it looks like the Leopards have not been able to catch their second win as they're going to be maybe 1 yard, 1.5 yards short here on third down. They're going to call it a long 3rd and 2 for the Vikings. As you look at the replay,
Houston on that carry right there.
Doing a great job around that left side. Good job to the offensive line of the Vikings. But this is what Coach McCain wanted. He wanted to go ahead and bleed this clock as much as he could and sustain drives.
Vikings second time inside the red zone tonight. Bozeman looks to the sideline to get the call. Play clock under 10 seconds. And I think MGM is gonna take a timeout right now. So MGM is going to take a timeout. When it comes to high school sports, scores, players, and the latest on all sports within Mobile County Public Schools, you can get informed on MCPSS Athletics with Brad Lowell only on the MCPSS TV network. Corey, 3:20 here remaining in the third quarter. And we know we got your Game of the Week Brain Buster coming up around the corner, so maybe we can try to get the question queued up if we can since we have a break right here. See if you've been studying all week as we got ready for this contest coming up. All right, Corey, let's get it up here. Your Game of the Week Brain Buster. All right, Corey, here we go. MGM has played in 7 overtime games. What was the only thing they all had in common? There's your Game of the Week Brain Buster.
No multiple choice, Al?
Corey, no multiple choice tonight. we did give you a multiple choice at the beginning of the season just to kind of help you out.
You did.
Because last season we didn't give you a multiple choice at the end of the season like we normally do. Ezel is trying to get to the first down marker, and he bulls his way through past the 15-yard line. And that's a first down, big play for the Vikings.
Ezel, the 6-foot, 190-pound senior, would not be denied. Great second effort by Ezel. Good push up front, but if you're look, he stopped in the backfield twice, 3 times, would not be denied. Picked up those 2 yards that were so desperately needed. And now the Vikings have a fresh set of downs as they continue to go ahead and bleed this clock.
Ball being spotted in between the 15 and the 14, so we'll call it right at the 15. Vikings trying to attempt a pass, and it is complete to Dominic Ezel. And Corey, it kind of reminds me of Derrick Henry as he's running right there. Picks up about 8 on that pass completed from Isaac Bozeman.
First pass completion of the contest, a nice sidearm throw, but it looks like in this situation, Ezel is getting stronger as the quarter progresses because you want to feed the horse until he tells you he does not want to eat anymore. And in that situation, he went ahead and took more hay and more hay and more hay, and now it's a second and short opportunity for the Vikings.
Ezel running as Kyrie Lewis-Jones just holds on to his jersey. And on that previous play, you can see Jones jumping in front of Bozeman, and Bozeman had to make the adjustment to get the pass completed.
Well, I'll tell you, now that you're in 3rd down and 2 yards to go, you can still get a first down in this situation and still have a 1st and goal to go. So you're looking at maybe 2.5 yards to go before the Vikings pick up a 1st down. They were in this situation just moments ago.
Yeah.
They gave the ball to their big back, and he did a wonderful job to Ezel finding a way. Let's see if he can continue to get it.
Bozeman just going to keep this one as he goes up the middle.
gonna
That
be
should
close.
be enough for a 1st down. From my vantage point here with my binoculars, Corey, I think that's a 1st down.
And looking at where the side judge is located, it will be a 1st and goal to go. So that's exactly what the Vikings need now. 1st down and goal to go from the 3-yard line for the Vikings.
Yeah. Big drive here for MGM. A score would probably just make this place explode if they can get this one into the end zone.
This has
Once
been
again, Bozeman with the carry.
a 7-minute drive so far by the MGM Vikings, and that's what they wanted here as their opening possession of the 3rd quarter kind of faltered and sputtered. But this second drive has not only been very effective, it's bled over 7.5 minutes off of the clock also.
Corey, I want you to pay attention. Right behind Bozeman is linebacker Sean Maxwell. If they run it again, watch Maxwell push Bozeman. They're pushing him again. They've done it the past 2 plays, and they pushed Bozeman into the end zone for a touchdown. The Vikings score.
And that's a good job of recognition by you, Al, as to what package is in the game and how you utilize your personnel. If you're not able to get the yardage yourself, get yourself a little assist from your teammates. You get the beat from behind you to continue to push you forward. And anytime 200 to 210 pounds is pushing you forward, your momentum's not going to go backwards. It's the irresistible force meets the immovable objects in that situation. And Vikings do a great job of going almost 8 minutes.
Wow.
Milking off the clock for a scoring drive. That was a 14-play drive capped off with a 63-yard drive, and the extra point was no good.
Corey. I was about to say, and capped off with an extra point, but it is no good. So it's 13-9 as Brewer misses the extra point. All right, Corey, we've given you a time to think about it. We're going to slip it in a little early with 26.3 seconds remaining. Here's your question. MGM has played in 7 overtime games. What was the one thing they all had in common?
Well, I'm going to go process of elimination.
Okay.
It either has to be the outcome or the opponent.
Okay.
So when I'm looking at this and I'm thinking about in MGM's history, they played in 7 overtime
games.
What was the one thing they all had in common?
Now, Wade, hold up on revealing it. I'm going to help you out. Think about opponent. I'm going to give you a little clue. Think about opponent.
MGM was a 6A school, then they moved on to become a 7A school. I want to say, Bryant and Baker have been those 2 opponents to where they have battled with.
Okay.
So I'm going to say opponent-wise, MGM Baker. Overtime, MGM Bryant overtime.
All right, Wade, give me the answer.
It's one of the 2.
Corey, you are incorrect. Each ball game that was overtime was a region game. So each time they had an overtime game, their opponent was a region opponent, and it last occurred last year with a 28-21 overtime loss to Foley.
And I would think that it would have been a region opponent, but being Foley, I definitely would not have got that one out.
Yeah.
And I did not get that one.
So, Corey, you're 3-1 on the season. I know you're going to take it in stride, brother.
We'll take that one in stride.
Take the L in stride tonight.
We'll take that loss and work with it. We're only going to get better out.
Little pooch kick up the middle is one of the up guys are going to take it. That's Jerry Brand. Corey, he's got a lane as he's approaching the midfield stripe. Very, very smart. Not Jerry Brand for Blount. That was Trayvon Lewis. Good hands by Lewis to pick that ball up and almost get it to the midfield stripe. Blount has great field position right here.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they needed as well to get that offense back on the field, is that defense needs to take a rest, Al. But if you're the Blount Leopards, you cannot afford to go 3 and out right here. We have 19.5 seconds remaining. Blount has not been able to score in this quarter, but the MGM Vikings have and almost used 8 minutes doing it, but the quick strike ability of this Blount Leopards team can be at hand.
This is Blount's second possession of the third quarter and their last one. As that pass is brought, the tackler, Melvin Williams, is tackled by MGM and brought down by Quentin Lee. They're going to give him credit for maybe about a half of a yard as we get to the fourth quarter, and that's going to wrap it up. MGM getting closer. Blount's lead is 13-9. We're going to take a break and come back and play one more quarter for you. It's the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
It was a very big industry, and I went into it in a 2-year program at the Bryant Career Tech with Tony Tillman.
When Jacob graduated from the Bryant Career Center, he had earned his diesel credential.
The Career Technical Center taught me a lot, all the way from not knowing anything about a motor or engine to knowing pretty much every single moving part of them.
MCPSS Career Tech. Start your future today.
Hello, I'm Katrina Frazier.
And I'm Deborah Robinson, and we would like to be your next realtors. As homeowners, we know how confusing it can be searching to find that perfect home that fits your needs and budget.
For that reason, it's important to have a reliable partner to represent you and to be there for every step of your home buying process. You'll find the services offered through Berkshire Hathaway, Home Services Cooper & Company Realtors are second to none.
So whether you are buying or selling your home, call us today and let our experience work for you.
Mary Montgomery, the Vikings have some superheroes cheering for them tonight. The Mary Montgomery cheerleaders have a theme going on tonight. Tell us a little bit about why you're dressed this way.
So at the beginning of every season, we pick themes for every game, and we chose superhero for tonight to motivate our boys to always give it their all and to lead us to victory. So we chose superheroes.
That's awesome. You think the boys have what it takes to come back and win tonight?
We're hoping so, but I think they've got it. I know they do.
Thanks a lot.
Great job, Mike, Corey. Now we know the reason why they're dressed up as the superheroes and villains tonight.
You gotta love the school spirit put on by the cheerleaders, the fans, the band, but again,
I love it.
When you have the spirit that the cheerleaders do, they believe the Vikings can go ahead and set sail for their first lead of the game if they're able to get a stop right here and bleed the entire fourth quarter clock out and have a shocker here in Sims, Alabama.
1st and 10 for the Leopards on the 41-yard line of MGM. Great third quarter we had right there as MGM put together that big drive to get on the board. Unfortunately, extra point was not good, so looks like MGM, if they could hold Blount right here, would need a touchdown really to take the lead because a field goal would have tied it up. Maybe we can get your checklist back up at some point to kind of revisit this, Corey, because this has turned out to be an interesting contest tonight.
The defense of Eugene Roberts, 6'2", 290-pound senior, plugging up that middle, doing a good job stopping it. And here after this play, we'll take a look at that checklist to go ahead and start the fourth quarter of action.
2nd and 10, LaMarcus Brown in control of the Leopards offense. Looking to pass, he has Melvin Williams on the slant right there. Great connection, and Williams, boy, he can go yards after catch with the yak, and the Blount Leopards are in the red zone, Corey.
The slot man, Melvin Williams, 5'9", 160-pound senior. We saw him do a tremendous job against Centennial. He was able to do that again. Just a short 2- or 3-step drop. Melvin Williams is able to shed tacklers, and it's the slant play for the slot wide receiver for the Blount Leopards that give them their biggest gain of the second half.
And that's that big play capability I talk about with Blount and the weapons they have. They know at any one point they can strike and strike quick.
And right after this, we'll take a look at this checklist
Little
play.
jet sweep, handoff to Armani Diamond, and this one's going backwards, Corey. Let's take a look at that checklist you're talking about right there.
MGM sustaining drives like they were able to do, bleed the entire clock in the third quarter. An 8-minute drive led to 6 points for the Vikings. Limit Leopards' explosive plays right there prior to. You saw the Blount Leopards have that explosive play to the wide receiver Melvin Williams, and turnaround. So far, they have not turned the ball over except for one time tonight. And when you look at Blount, they need to put a pause on their penalties. They've only had one penalty tonight for 10 yards. Improve on special teams. They've missed an extra point tonight, and they needed to get off to that strong start. Weren't able to do that, credited by the MGM Vikings.
And the Leopards going to have to burn a timeout right there, not wanting to pick up the delay of game penalty at 9:24. I believe that's their first timeout of the second half, Cora.
And those timeouts are going to be very valuable here as we continue a close contest here at E.S. Gotw Stadium in Sims, Alabama, in this non-region matchup between the MGM Vikings and the Blount Leopards, Al. And if you were to tell me going in that the MGM Vikings would not complete a pass until almost the fourth quarter of play.
Late in the third quarter, yeah.
And still have an opportunity to only be down by 4 points, I wouldn't believe you.
I know.
And I wouldn't believe that they would be able to bleed the entire third quarter clock or dominate time of possession against this huge defensive line of the Blount Leopards. But credit to Stan McCain and his defensive and offensive staff for being very well prepared in tonight's contest.
You're right about that. Both ball clubs had the ball twice last quarter. MGM scored a touchdown. Got to thank Firehouse Subs for what they're doing for us, taking care of us all season with the eats. Thanks to Jim and Susie Sherman at the Greenlight Road location. Make sure you visit them, Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs and save more lives. Got to thank them for that. Second and long for the Leopards coming up here after that play went backwards. Armani Diamond didn't get much out of it. Going back to his guy, Melvin Williams. Brown and Williams been hooking up all night. It'll still be third and long here coming up for Blount.
Melvin Williams did stay in bounds. The clock continues to run for the Blount Leopards. Again, there's going to be third down and close to 20 yards to go for Blount. MGM cannot allow any of the receivers to get behind them defensively to where there's a jump ball situation. You'll live with them getting half of this, but do not, as a defensive back, allow any of the wide receivers to get behind you.
Ball on the 20-yard line of MGM. Brown has all day. He's just going to run it, and he's got some room. But he is bumped down by Sean Maxwell. So we're looking at a situation here where Blount is looking at about fourth down, about 8 yards, Corey. I'm definitely thinking this is a you have to go for it.
It is four down territory because of the kicking situation of the Leopards. But you're looking at how far Brown had to scramble, and that was a great job of Maxwell lowering his shoulder and tackling with his shoulder instead of leading with his crown of his helmet so he wouldn't draw a penalty. Fourth down and 8 yards to go for the Blount Leopards here knocking in red zone territory of the Vikings.
And we saw them score on a 4th and 15 early in the contest. Blitz is on, and wide open to catch that pass is Deshaun Williams, the freshman running back for the Leopards. Wide open, Corey.
That's what
the blitz did not pay off.
When you blitz, it's a numbers game. LaMarcus Brown did a good job of coming out of the backfield. The hardest thing the freshman had to do was catch the football. He did that, and he probably has his first receiving touchdown as a Blount Leopard here tonight in this non-region matchup. But that's a huge score on fourth down and long for the Blount Leopards.
Trayvon Lewis on for the extra point. And that is going to be no good, Corey. So Blount on top 19-9 after that 8-yard touchdown pass from LaMarcus Brown to Deshaun Williams. We're in the fourth quarter of the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
When it comes to getting your child through school, at times it can be overwhelming. what school to choose, what classes to take, how to apply for college.
To help answer these questions and more, we would like to invite you to join us on Parent Connect as we take an in-depth look at some of the issues and concerns you may have about your child's education.
So get connected with Parent Connect, weekly right here on the MCPSSTV network.
Welcome back to E.S. Gotw Memorial Field for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Correction on that 10-yard touchdown pass from LaMarcus Brown to Deshaun Williams. And Blount extends their lead 19-9. Corey, that one has to hurt the Vikings right there.
It does, because it takes so long for the Vikings to score. They don't have that quick, explosive offense that the Blount Leopards do, so they're going to have to grind it out in order to score, and time is not their friend with 7:35 remaining. You know they're not going to throw the ball down the field. They would have to go with a changing quarterback in Ashton Hollins, who's the more versatile quarterback and can get outside a running quarterback if that's what you so choose to do. But dominating the line of scrimmage right now is not in favor of the Vikings because of the clock.
Well, Corey, I know we always award our Career Tech Education Player of the Game award, and we're getting close to it. But I want to nominate two groups who aren't even on the field tonight for a possible Career Tech Education. The Blount Band and the MGM Band. They have been going at it all night long, Corey.
I agree with you, and that's
I love that
about,
enthusiasm, man.
Spirit.
Edrin Houston coming around the edge here, trying to get some room, and wrapping him up, Kyrie Lewis-Jones pushing him back. But both of these bands are doing great. Corey, if I didn't live in Mobile County and we weren't under COVID, I wouldn't know these kids were remote learning, because they must be doing some serious practicing, brother. Both bands going at it tonight.
Outstanding job by both band directors, by all participants in the bands. Auxiliary is never overlooked because they spend as much time out in the heat of the summer and practicing as the football teams do, along with the cheerleading squad. So kudos to both of these teams for bringing the spirit tonight.
Flag on the play. Not too many flags. And Rick Johnson counting players as if MGM may have too many participants. I mean, he is literally counting them up right now. So he's going to wave that flag off. Corey, 6:53, who are you thinking about Career Tech Education Player of the Game so far tonight?
You know, I like definitely little man Williams. Deshaun Williams, the freshman running back, has done a good job taking over for big brother tonight, Jarris Williams.
Gotcha.
I think he has to be one of the candidates for the Blount Leopards for sure.
I would say here's a pass attempt from MGM, and Bozeman airs it out, trying to get it to Ashton Hollins. And look at that arm on Isaac Bozeman as Hollins coming up a little gimpy right there.
He hasn't run that long of a route all night long.
Has not.
And with the temperature dropping now, being 71 degrees, you know, if you haven't stretched yourself out and then you try to stretch out for football in that situation, you will catch a cramp or you come up lame a little bit. But that's the most dynamic or explosive wide receiver outside of Kelton Young that the Vikings do have. And you try to get Kelton Young in space, but Blount's done a good job of taking the receiving abilities away from Kelton Young, one of the most explosive offensive weapons for the Vikings.
Vikings come with a different look on the offense right here. And Bozeman kind of sidewinds that one. He is upset with himself because he knew he had Hollins, and Hollins still gimpy kind of coming off the field. Remember, he plays offense and defense for the Vikings. Hopefully the young man is okay. One other play I was thinking about possibly Cord tonight, and he's already won it one time this season. Quarterback LaMarcus Brown has 3 touchdowns tonight, and 2 of them occurred on 4th down, if you remember correctly.
Yeah, that's huge.
Great
for
insight.
The Blount Leopards, and you look at him being another possible candidate, but more importantly now, it's 4th down and 13 yards to go, and Coach McCain's going to elect to punt this football away.
Chris Brewer gets it off. And Rayshard Kaiser is just going to run away from it. He and Armani Diamond stay away, and MGM is going to down the ball at the Blount 25-yard line. We saw Blount run a great 4-minute offense going into halftime. Weren't able to capitalize on it. With 6 minutes remaining here, if they can just hold on to the ball, they can pretty much probably wrap this game up. We know they have big strike capability, and knowing Coach Holly, he might go for the kill shot. You never know, Corey. But right now, this ball is ball game completely in control of Blount right now.
I think that you give this football to Deshaun Williams and get behind this big offensive line of Bruce Crenshaw, Mario Handy, Kevin Eatman, Peyton Daly, and Connor Howard, and let them dictate this contest.
I think they're listening to you there. Hand off to Deshaun Williams. Picks up about 1 yard. Corey, I think we're going to go out on a limb. We're going to try it here. We're going to tease our next ball game next week. We're going to Baker for a 7A Region 1 matchup. Murphy versus Baker. Make sure you join us. We go live at 6:55, and as you said at the top of the broadcast, live in HD as we view this beautiful green grass out here in Sims. I told Coach McCain, I know it's a lot of nurseries out here. You must have a good hookup with somebody because this grass looks great tonight, man.
It does look very good, and 3 games being played on it. Blount's going to let the play clock run down to 3 before they even snap the football.
Handed off to Williams once again. His job is to stay in bounds right now as he runs out, and that stops the clock, but a flag has come out on that play.
And that's one of those freshman mistakes that you have.
Yep.
They tried the stretch play to the outside, and there's going to be a holding called against this offensive line.
Yeah.
Going to back them up 10 yards from that spot of the penalty. And now you're looking at the clock, 5:22 remaining.
A holding on the offense, 10 yards, spotted a foul. Replay second down.
Well, you can tell the pro right there, Rick Johnson. He finds my man Bubba on the camera. Bubba's right here about the 50-yard line and poses and says, holding on the offense.
Well, you know, he
great
is
job by the
ESPN
official.
savvy. He had that St. Paul Spanish Fort game on national television on ESPN.
So he knows the deal
he knows how to go ahead and find that camera.
Wow.
And a great job he does along with his crew. And he even has his wife here also running the clock. Part of his crew does a great job.
Okay.
The entire crew does.
Trip receivers to the bottom of the screen here. They're going to the quick screen and overthrow to Cam Grays. It'll be 3rd and long for the Leopards.
Now, again, if you're the MGM Vikings looking at probably close to 3rd down and 26 yards to go, you want to make sure that you don't let anything get behind you and you don't commit any personal fouls that would possibly give Blount an opportunity to get a gift first down. But if you can hold them here with that incomplete pass with 5:17 remaining in the 4th quarter, you can still get excellent field position. As special teams, we have not seen Blount, I don't think, punt the football tonight.
There has been one punt, though, Corey. Has been a little quick screen out to Williams. Melvin Williams, that is. He stays in bounds.
Good stop, not letting anything get behind you.
And MGM keeps it in front of him, yeah.
And that's exactly what you have to do. Brings up 4th down and a very long 25, 26 yards to go, maybe even 30. 4th and 30 yards
It's a
to
quarter
go.
of the field, basically, or as I like to say every now and then, it's 4th and a country mile here coming up.
Special teams going to be the difference here, as there has to make sure there's a good snap.
The Darius Williams in the end zone, Corey. Pay attention to this Kel Young. They're telling him to come up, come up. But he gets it off. And Young tries to pick it up on the bounce. Can he land on it? The young man took a chance. That was a 50-50 shot, Corey.
He did take a tough chance at that football. Couldn't field it cleanly, as the coaching staff told him to come up at the last moment. And he came up a little bit too slow in that situation.
Yeah.
Should have been a little bit closer, probably 5 yards in, knowing that Blount does not have a big booming kicker, but excellent field position for the Vikings with 4:21 remaining here in the 4th quarter. They'll take over at the Blount Leopard 24-yard line. And the biggest thing for MGM right now is, can you get the football to Ashton Hollins or back to Kelton Young quick enough to give yourself a defense an opportunity to score?
Bozeman's looking for someone to connect with. He needs to get rid of it before he steps out of bounds and tries to force it in to Dominic Ezel. Incomplete. Hollins is back on the field.
There is a flag on the play, I do believe.
Yeah, it is right here near the sideline.
And Hollins is a sidearm thrower.
I mean, Bozeman.
Excuse me. Yeah, he is a sidearm thrower. And when you look at that, sometimes because he is a sidearm thrower right there in front of the sidelines, I don't know if roughing the passer is going to be a call. We look at the replay of holding, obviously, on 46 that was not called, but he sidearm throws it right there.
Yeah, there it is.
And there is going to be a personal foul.
Yeah, it's being assessed right now.
Automatic first down.
I tell you, on the play, though, 46 did a great job of pressuring the quarterback and getting held, but now the ball is going to be right on the 12-yard line of the Leopards. 4:11 remaining now. And
MGM needs to get a quick score and get the ball back to score again if they want to be in this contest right here.
And I think they have 2 timeouts remaining.
They do have 2 timeouts remaining. Dominic Ezel on the run.
Got to quickly go ahead and have a sense of urgency.
Yeah, you have to play tempo right here. You have to play tempo for MGM.
Got to quickly get those plays in. You can't afford to sit on that clock. Go ahead and catch Blount while they're on their heels in this situation.
3:45 and counting. Handoff to Ezel. Hole is opening up. Can he stay on his feet?
He's in. Touchdown.
And he is in. Touchdown for the MGM Vikings.
Ezel.
12-yard touchdown run for Dominic Ezel.
Ezel runs extremely hard. Credit the offensive line for opening up. He just lowers his head at the end. The ball crosses the plane. We're going to have a touchdown Vikings. And 3:37 remaining. Don't go anywhere if you're watching at home, as we're in for a fantastic finish, as the Vikings right here can decide to kick the extra point, make it a 3-point game, or go for 2 and then decide to put it in their kicker's hands to possibly win the game, and Christopher Brewer, if the defense is able to get a stop. So Stan McCain, you mentioned it earlier in the telecast about him being an outstanding special teams guru, and I guarantee that he has something to be called right here for his Vikings.
Blount has 2 timeouts remaining, and MGM has just taken a timeout. I believe that's their second one of the half, so I think they have 1 timeout left, I believe. So this could be the situation where they may go for the 2 right here, Corey. Typically, you don't call a timeout and then come out and kick an extra point. So
I'd say go for 2 right here.
You're at home.
You might as well go for 2 because
if you get the 1, I mean, it's an either-or kind of situation, but it looks like they're going to possibly kick the extra point. But, as we said, you never know with Coach Stan McCain because the holder is the quarterback, Isaac Bozeman.
And Brewer looks like he's going to be on the wide out,
they're
swinging gate formation.
Yeah, this is what they kind of normally do. But you never know. They, you know, we've seen Coach McCain do some things over the past couple of years.
Looks to be a little confusion by the Blount Leopards as to how they want to defend this 2-point conversion.
And Coach Holly is calling a timeout, Corey. So the chess match continues. So I think that leaves Blount with 1 timeout.
And you want to make sure if they're going to go for 2, that you're not confused.
Right.
If you are Lev Holly and this Blount Leopards defense, and defensive coordinator Lee Smith, in his first year back at Blount High School as the defensive coordinator, he's an assistant principal in the Mobile County Public School system, and he does a wonderful job leading young men. And we mentioned him in the Central game in his first year back, but he really does. He's very passionate about what he does. He's passionate about his players, for his players, and that was evident last week as they were playing Saraland. Coaches up every single play.
Yeah.
But I just love the intensity that he has, not only for the student athletes, but he encourages students to be that passionate in the classroom also, and is a great leader that Lev Holly has over there on the sidelines.
All right, here we go. MGM down 4 points right now. It appears as if they are going to kick the extra point. We'll hold our breath and wait. And Brewer's extra point is up, and it is good. He missed this last one, so it's 19-16 with 3:37 remaining in the fourth quarter. Boy, it is getting good. It's the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
Hello, my name is Kyla Brown, and I am redefining ready. I'm taking AP and dual enrollment courses that will help me earn college credits while in high school. I am studying dental science that will assist me in my career choice of becoming a dentist. I am a Student Government Association representative and actively involved in other activities around my school and community. And this is how I am redefining ready.
At any given time, trauma can happen.
And how we deal with it.
And how we make peace with it.
Starts with me.
With Project Thrive, I'm taking the pledge.
I pledge to believe and support others experiencing trauma.
Will you join Project Thrive and its team of partners who are working together to address issues of trauma? Take the pledge, take a stand, and let's make Mobile a trauma-informed community.
We welcome you back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Corey LeBound, and we've got a good one. 19-16, Blount on top, 3:37 remaining. Are we looking at an onside kick here, Corey?
No, you want to kick this ball as far as you can.
All right, Brewer tees off into it. Melvin Williams runs it down at about the 6-yard line, and up the middle he comes. Oh, and he is stuck right there by Logan Tillman, Corey.
Logan Tillman has been making his presence and name known all night long. Had the interception, made a huge special teams play right there. Textbook tackle for the Vikings as both bands are continuing to play their hearts out as we have a great game here at E.S. Grider Stadium. 19-16 in favor of the Leopards. They have the football. Can this Viking defense get the stop that they need? Here we go, folks.
Ball being spotted at the Blount 28-yard line. If Blount can pick up maybe one first down here, Corey, that should pretty much secure the ball game. Oh, and stuck by Sean Maxwell and a few other Vikings is Deshaun Williams, and he says, look here, freshman, this is big boy football.
They've done a great job, great job of stacking up the defensive line here the second half, and that's exactly what you asked for now. If you're the MGM Vikings, getting that stop on first down, and now second down and 10 yards to go, they gain. You don't have Jarris Williams, the big back. He's out due to injury tonight. Did not play, but his little brother, Deshaun Williams, is running the football as Blount's trying to bleed this clock as much as they can.
If they run it, I'm sure you're going to keep it in the hands of that guy right there, LaMarcus Brown. If he could have gotten past Hollins, he maybe could have broken it. Kel Young on the play, but a flag at the line of scrimmage, and Rick Johnson motions early, holding Corey against Blount.
And that's a huge call by the Blount Leopards, because you look at the longest rush of the game for LaMarcus Brown, a design quarterback keeper.
10 yards, replay.
And we're going to replay the down. As you look at it, the left side of the line, Big Lee Hunter in there for blocking purposes, and LaMarcus Brown picks up the first down, stays inbounds, but within that mass of humidity, there was a penalty flag called. It's going to back the Leopards up. Now, you're talking about now the Blount Leopards right around the 14-yard line.
Looks like they're spotted about the 16-yard line. But the line to make is the 38.
The clock is still running. The Vikings have a couple of timeouts to burn. Let's see here after this play call right here, will the Vikings use a timeout if the Leopards keep the ball in bounds?
Keeper by LaMarcus Brown gets some block out on the edge from Armani Diamond and picks up a great amount of yardage and gets out of bounds to stop the clock. It will be 3rd and about 6, maybe 7 yards coming up for Blount.
The exact same play call that they ran and had the penalty called against them. 3rd down and 8 yards to go now for the Vikings with 2:08 remaining here in the 4th quarter of play. The clock does stop because he was pushed out of bounds.
The ball on
and
the
if
30,
there was ever a sense to make some noise coming out of Sims, Alabama, it would be right now for the Vikings fans.
3rd and 8, ball on the 30-yard line, and the Viking faithful are now on their feet. Blount looking to throw. LaMarcus Brown escapes the pocket and just throws it away, and Corey, that stops the clock. We are exactly at 2 minutes remaining here, and it is 4th and 8 for the Blount Leopards.
The worst thing that could happen for the Blount Leopards from a special team-wise is to shank a punt. We know that Blount has punted at least 2 times tonight, which isn't a tremendous amount of time.
Right.
But the net yardage on their punts has not been over 25 yards per punt. Kelton Young misjudged a punt earlier and almost turned the football over. But here it is, 2 minutes remaining. The Vikings are going to get the football back and have an opportunity to either tie or win this game here in Sims, Alabama.
Ladarius Williams, a sophomore for Blount, gets a good snap. Very good punt by Williams, and Kel Young is just going to stay away from it. Very smart, as the ball is going to be down at about the 37-yard line, Corey. So here we go. 1:50 remaining in the contest. We haven't even announced our Career Tech Education Player of the Game yet. We don't know because this ball game may not be over.
And one of the questions that you asked head coach Stan McCain earlier is, where does your kicker feel comfortable kicking field goals from? Christopher Brewer has great hang time on his punts, but here it is, the kicker, Chris Brewer, 5'11", 150-pound senior. What was his range, Al?
He said he was good from about 30 in.
30
he was good
in.
from about 30 in.
So you're looking at the Vikings having to get the football down to at least the 20-yard line of the Leopards. It's going to be important, though, that they don't try to get it all back here on 1st down, as they've only completed 2 passes tonight in this contest.
Bozeman running out of the spread right now as MGM has to move the ball down the field. Lee Hunter flushes him out of the pocket, and the play is called dead. It is stopped with the flag coming in.
I don't know if
could it be a delay of game?
Substitution. On offense. 12 players on the
Substitution
field.
penalty. 12 men on the field against MGM.
And I think that's one of the first times this entire contest that he has been in the shotgun formation. You know, normally they're in that flex bone offense that they've been running, the ground and pound capabilities of this Viking. They shouldn't feel any pressure because all teams work on the 2-minute drill or the 2-minute offense. This Viking team really isn't meant or built for quick passes.
No, it's not built for tempo,
but the playmakers on the Vikings team are number 1, which is Ashton Hollins, and number 4, Kelton Young.
Ball on the 31-yard line of MGM. Oh, and the snap goes past Bozeman. Is he going to eat it? He's going to throw it away. He's outside of the pocket. Can he find someone? Intercepted by the Blount Leopards. Kel Smith is trying to take it to the house and is brought down, and that's going to seal the deal for the Blount Leopards. Huge interception by Kel Smith, the junior.
Off of the bad snap, you want to throw the football away.
Wow.
And that's a throw
That's
that
a
the
heartbreak,
young quarterback would love to have back. The high snap was going to be there because the shotgun formation is something that the Vikings really don't play in. But when you're throwing the football away, Isaac Bozeman sidearms to throw, trying to find Kelton Young, and instead finds a Blount defender who's able to pick this football off and go ahead and seal the deal for this Blount Leopard defense. That's a huge play with the Leopards rising to the occasion on that pick.
Corey, that should pretty much seal the deal here for Blount. MGM having only 1 timeout. That was a huge, huge interception.
It was.
By Kel Smith.
But again, credit the Leopard defense of finding a way to pressure Bozeman and not make him comfortable in the shotgun formation. As LaMarcus Brown's going to
keep it, and he's going to score, Corey. That is a touchdown. That'll pretty much wrap it up right there. Just a little extra on it. LaMarcus Brown with his 4th touchdown tonight, 3 through the air and 1 on the ground. Still trying to keep his name into the mix for the Career Tech Education Player of the Game, but we'll find out shortly about that, as Blount has scored on 1 play after that. So, as you always say it, Corey, points off turnovers.
Points off turnovers are huge, and it's a design quarterback draw. You could see him earlier having success. There was a holding penalty that negated a huge run, and then they went right back to it and just didn't get the yardage needed for a first down. But the success on the left side of this big line, Bruce Crenshaw, Mario Hardy doing a great job of creating holes for their big quarterback, and another missed extra point for the Blount Leopards as they now lead 25-16. And this score is a whole lot closer than you would think.
We're going to take a break and come back and wrap it up as we look at LaMarcus Brown score again for the Blount Leopards.
The more parents are involved in school, the more likely it is a child will succeed. Children with involved parents and attend school regularly make better grades and have better social skills. Every involved parent makes a difference.
Get involved. Ask about your child's day. Explain how your education matters. Parent involvement, it matters.
You can find more information on parent involvement at MCPSS.com.
I'm Bailey Buck. I attend MGM High School. Here I'm pursuing my career in the dental industry. I'm currently enrolled in honors classes that will help prepare me for my future. My name is Bailey Buck. I am preparing for tomorrow today.
Welcome you back to the MCPSS High School football game of the week. Blount on top 25-16. Corey, 130. And the emotional ride that has happened here at E.S. Gotw Memorial Field is unbelievable.
It's amazing because, again, you had the MGM Vikings to get the huge stop. Their offense got the football back. They were trying to drive down the field. They got in the shotgun formation, and great things did not happen. A high snap led to a turnover, and Blount's going to try to onside squib kick. And the Vikings are going to come away with it, Al, but you're exactly right about the swing, the ebb and flows of the fourth quarter of action here, as we had a 3-point game here with less than a minute ago.
150 remaining in the contest,
And it's amazing to how Blount was able to capitalize points off turnovers in this minute of action here, as we've had a great flurry to finish this game. But what you're looking to see here is MGM. I go ahead now, I really go for the gusto, and I try to force the ball now to either number 4, Kelton Young, or the Ashton Hollins, the wide receiver at the top of your screen in this situation, because you can't afford to run it here. The only thing that you're going to run is out of time.
Yeah, Bozeman up under the center. They're going to run it, give it to Dominic Ezel as he picks up about 5 or 6. So, Corey, I think we may have it up. Our Career Tech Education Player of the Game. We've been up here talking and debating and going back and forth. 2 guys we had in mind, so when the truck is ready, they'll put it up there for us. So the tally's in, Corey. It was close, but LaMarcus Brown gets the nod tonight.
And why does he get the nod? The 6'2", 190-pound senior quarterback gets the nod because he was able to shake off the 1 interception that he had, was able to lead his team to a drive and score right before the half to Armani Diamond. And as I mentioned Armani Diamond's name, he almost took a pick 6 to the house because, again, LaMarcus Brown had his team rattled, but he found a way to settle them back down and settle himself back down and go ahead and find a way to be on the plus side of this scoreboard in this great non-region action here at E.S. Gotw Stadium.
We talked about it, Corey. The freshman, Deshaun Williams, I think coming in, filling in the shoes for his big brother, had a great game tonight. But keep in mind, on 2 key plays, Blount was on 4th down and scored both times with passes from LaMarcus Brown. He has 3 in the air and 1 on the ground tonight. So the young man is really, really talented. And I think it's deserving. It was close, though.
It was.
Career Tech Education player.
the difference maker on the field was LaMarcus Brown.
Yeah, it was.
And I think he was mentioned as one of our impact players
Correct.
to begin the game along with Lee Hunter, but he shows why he can impact the game and why he was the most outstanding player in this contest. But, you know, we're not into moral victories, and neither is Coach McCain. And he mentioned that to us, that even though this will be the 4th consecutive loss for the MGM Vikings, he just wants to see his team compete and try to get better. And there was no quit in the Viking team tonight.
Make sure you join us next week. We're taking to Baker, Murphy versus Baker. It'll be a 7A Region 1 battle. Join us live at 6:55 as that pass is incomplete from Bozeman to Hollins.
One of the things I enjoy about high school football is when you have the underdog like the MGM Vikings are, when you have a team that 1 week ago came into the polls ranked number 3 in 6A. Now Blount had an opportunity. How would they respond to getting punched in the mouth by the Saraland Spartans?
Correct.
Well, tonight they had an opportunity to play a close game because they beat Central 26-0. They lost to Saraland 35-13. Tonight they're going to have to come away with a 25-16 win. So they faced the blowout by blowing a team out, by being blown out, and then have an opportunity to play a close game. So Lev Holly, in only their 3rd game, is still learning the identity of his team, whereas some teams have played 5 and 6 games. This Blount team is being tested in different ways.
It
and
sure
that's
is.
what I love about it, because he definitely has a state championship caliber team over there on those far sidelines.
And MGM pretty much just going to snap this one and let the ball game come to a close. Actually, they don't get the snap off. So Blount gets the win tonight, 25-16. An interesting ball game we've had all night long, Corey. It was pretty tight early. Blount got out to a lead, but MGM never gave up. That's one thing about the Vikings. They always play you tough, Corey. We've seen them play Citronelle. We've seen them play Murphy. We've seen them play Baker. And all those games are tough and always coming down to the last. And tonight, they were in it with 1:50 remaining in the contest, down by 3 points.
A 3-point contest with 1:50 left. They had the football. They went to the shotgun position because they got deep in their own territory, something they had not done all night long. Go to the shotgun. They had an errant snap, and the quarterback throws it, tries to throw it to his own wide receiver, intercepted by a Blount defender in that situation. You'll learn from that. You'll move forward from that. But what a tremendous game that was played tonight by both of these teams.
Yeah, and I thank everyone for joining in and watching us. Let's take a look at the stats from the ball game tonight, Corey. Here it is overall, and look at their 3 passing yards for MGM, 151 on the ground. And overall, look at Blount total yards, 287. Very impressive.
And the 2 turnovers that were committed by MGM, one of them was huge in this game. The penalties, Blount 4 penalties for 50 yards. MGM had 5 penalties for 30 yards. So if you look at the balance of Blount having 287 yards, they're happy with that. MGM's going to do what they do, which is run the football. That's not going to change, but it was still an outstanding game tonight here at E.S. Grider Stadium.
It is. We're waiting for Mike Herndon to get with our coach, Lev Holly, and also our Career Tech Education Player of the Game, 2-time winner this season so far, LaMarcus Brown, the quarterback. He did an outstanding job tonight.
Yeah, found a way to win his team, shrugged off the interceptions, threw a couple of slants, a nice throw to Armani Diamond a couple of times for a couple of touchdowns there is huge for the Blount Leopards, and they win a non-region contest on the road. More importantly, find a way to bounce back and move forward back into region play and to correct their mistakes.
Let's throw it down to Mike Herndon right now.
A tough, hard-fought win by Blount tonight. Coach Holly, you got the big defensive play at the end to help seal it. Tell me a little bit about what you thought the keys were to winning this game tonight.
Man, we knew it was going to be a physical game. What they do on offense, we knew they were going to grind it out, and they're good at what they do. So our thing was we had to get some key stops at times just to slow them down. We knew they were going to have some first downs, but I'm proud of my team, proud of these sister coaches of how they've came out prepared and got these kids ready to play. So they get this win. We'll go back next week, get ready for Robertsdale.
LaMarcus, the big plays were a little harder to come tonight. How were you able to keep the offense settled down and make the big plays in the end?
Just stay calm and just stick to what we know. And just let it all come together. Let it fall in place.
And Coach, you were without your starting tailback tonight. Tell me a little bit about Deshaun Williams and the job he did coming in there.
I'm very proud of him. You know, we told him all week, you know, it ain't, you know, you used to it, you ready, you prepared yourself. So, you know, a freshman to come out and have the game that he's had, you know, I'm very proud of him, you know, proud of his brother for standing in his ear. And I told him, you know, you're going to be a pretty much a coach tonight. You know, I don't want a one time where he's by himself. So I'm just proud of these guys. You know, the offensive line, they don't get a lot of credit in public, but, man, those guys are exceptional. These kids are exceptional. And this coach staff is exceptional. So I think it was a good win for us, you know, to get back on that side, and we'll get ready to go to work for next week.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate that. Blount has coming up for them, Corey. They have to travel to Robertsdale, then they're at Spanish Fort, and then they host McGill. Big props out to LaMarcus Brown. He passed to A.J. Robinson-Jackson, passed to Armani Diamond, passed to Deshaun Williams, and he decided to run that last one in himself. 4 touchdowns for the young man tonight.
Yeah, you could tell that he really wasn't excited about his performance, but at the end of the night, he had a very productive performance. And again, he found a way to be a senior leader to go ahead and lead his team to a victory tonight.
All right, join us next week. We're taking it out to Baker for a 7A Region 1 matchup. It'll be Murphy versus Baker. We go live at 6:55. For Corley Bounty, Mike Herndon, our statistician, China Powell, producer Quentin Howard, and director Wade Ford. I'm Al Wheaton, thanking you for joining us. Boy, it was a good one tonight. Blount won 25-16. Have yourself a great evening.